It's Monday night. Let's party. And by the way, I see all you people in the chat who are calling me casually late. I'm not casually late. I am casually on time because the NHL is casually late with starting their games when they say they're going to. This says it starts at 8:30. It's 8:34. I'm not seeing a game yet. Are you? Anyway, hi guys. How's it going? It's nice to see you. Happy Monday night. We're ready to party. Let's have a good time. Gripper Nation, welcome. It's our first Flames game of the year. And, you know, I got to love this because personally, the Flames have a little bit of a spot in my heart. They're the team that my grandfather loved the most in the whole world. He was a season ticket holder for the Calgary Flames for 25 years. So he was at the first ever Calgary Flames game at the Stampede Corral. I believe there was 10,000 people there. And he sat near the organist who used to be in the crowd. So the person playing all the stuff in the middle, because the corral was so old, they just put them in the seats. I'm not even kidding. It's crazy. And the first game, by the way, here's some trivia for you. Calgary's first game was not a win, and it was not a loss. It was a 6-6 tie with the Quebec Nordiques. And ties were a thing. So welcome back to Monday night on SDPN. Obviously, with Monday Night Hockey, we're sort of at the mercy of whatever Amazon wants to put on. And you know what? Tonight's game's not bad. The Kings, who are all of a sudden looking pretty good after a not-so-great start, 9-4-3. And the Calgary Flames, after a rip-roaring start, cooled off a little bit, 7-5-3. But still, two teams that are, hey, pretty good. It's like a really good matchup, you'd think. Now, last week, we had a total dud of a game. I still haven't got over it. I almost was like, I might have to stream a second game this week, and Jesse talked me out of it. But I was thinking about, like, man, maybe I should do the Friday Night Leafs game just because the Jersey game, Edmonton and New Jersey, was just so bad. It was so boring. I don't think tonight's going to be boring. I think you've got key injuries in the lineup. Obviously, you know, with Tanner Jeannot being out, as you know, with the three-game suspension for the LA Kings. Obviously, Drew Doughty's out for a while. And then on the Calgary side, you heard the news today. Anthony Mantha is done for the year with the ACL, which is absolutely brutal. I feel for him. Now, one thing that I realize I've forgotten, because it is still Remembrance Day, is I have forgotten my poppy. So here's the deal. I'm gonna make you guys. You're gonna have to give me a second. I need to go get my poppy. I'm used to like doing the show on Remembrance Day and then being done and then having the poppy on my coat, but my poppy's just over here. So give me 1 second. You guys just talk amongst yourselves. I have to make sure that I got my poppy. We got to represent. I'll be right back. All right, I'm coming. I'm coming back. All right, I'm coming back. I'm here. Okay, so straight up, this is strange. Somebody took the poppies, and now I don't know where they are. I'm a little embarrassed. I'm gonna have to call Jesse. Should I just call him? Yeah, I'm gonna call Jesse. I'm gonna call him right now. You ready? All right, you guys ready? Call Jesse Blake. All right, here we go. We're gonna call Jesse together.
Yeah.
Hi, Jesse. Just a quick question for you. You're on the stream, by the way. I should let you know that.
Hello.
Say hi, everybody. There's Jesse Blake. Hey.
Hey.
So, Jesse, I got on the air today, and I committed a faux pas, and you'll probably be upset with me, and I get it. And that is that I don't know. For whatever reason, you know, we get into the rhythm with Remembrance Day. We put on the poppy, and then the show is over, and then I'm like, okay, well, now we're into Christmas season. But it's still November 11th, and I don't know where our poppies are.
They're in the drawer in the kitchen.
Drawer in the kitchen.
Keep the extra coffee pot.
Okay, can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Can I just leave you on speakerphone with the microphone while I go get a poppy, and you can just talk to the people?
Okay.
All right, here
I
you.
can do that.
I'm gonna put this down here, and then you talk as loud as you possibly can. Okay.
Where are you putting me? Okay, I'm trying
Put,
to listen to the broadcast if I hear myself.
okay. All right. All right. Here.
Yeah.
Can you
Go
hear
ahead.
yourself?
Yeah.
You can hear it.
I don't know.
All right.
Yet. It's not up. It's not there yet.
All right. Okay. I think you can. I get. Here
I'll
you
be
go.
fine. You can go.
Go.
Just go.
Go.
Hey guys, what's up? This is classic Adam. I don't know if I've ever received a more Adam call. Him forgetting something. So I don't think anybody should be surprised that we are in this situation. Hey, I'll use this time to promote something. I'm doing something on your channel that we're calling NHL Edge Breakdown, where I take those, if you watch the SCP, you see this stuff before, they're NHL Edge's new goal visualizers. So I take those and I make little videos about them. They're usually like 2 minutes, but tonight, because the Dallas Stars scored 6 goals against the Pittsburgh Penguins in one period, I did one breakdown for all 6 goals in that period. So that's out right now if you want to go watch it. And I think Adam's back, right?
Yeah, dude. You did all 6 goals.
Yeah, I did them all in one video. I just kind of sped through them all. It's really fun.
Yo, I gotta tell you something. Your phone totally dropped off there, but we got most of it because it fell off the mic stand. But people are like, this is a train wreck. Yo, whatever, man. I want to say that I am so curious to see it. Is it possible to, I'm gonna have the social team link to it, but I was like, can we take like a clip of it and run it during intermission? Because it's like, would you be able to send that to Hayden?
Yeah, okay, I'll email it to Hayden.
Not the whole thing, because I want people to watch the video, but like it's just something that we can use. Because my God, the Penguins are so bad, it's crazy.
Yeah, the Penguins they're terrible. I'll just send them the whole thing. They can play as much as you want.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, everybody, let's give Jesse Blake a big round of applause. Jesse Blake, the Blake down. All right, thanks, Jesse. Later. Hi, everybody. I figured it out. You see? I don't know. Circus. Oh, that's great. That's what SDPN wrote too. It's a circus. Well, you know what? We're here to have a little fun. Adam, take the poppy off. You wear it till 11 a.m. and then take it off. I don't think so, because we're still doing Remembrance Day ceremony stuff in Calgary tonight, as they are around the NHL with Veterans Day. So I'm just going to leave it on. I just think it might be the right thing to do. Now, I've got a bunch of stats ready to go with the stats god, Hayden Matheson, who's my producer tonight. But I first want to say this. We've got Justin loves to play a little bit of a game. He says, Adam, want to play a game? Pick a player from both teams. If either score tonight, I'll drop gift subs. And here's the quote. I love this. The human foot is a masterpiece of engineering and a work of art. That's Leonardo da Vinci. He wrote that for you, Gripper Nation. For you. For us. Now, let's talk about tonight who's going to score. Let's do something real easy. Now, usually I try to be all like hipster about this and have somebody that nobody's thought about. But I'll be honest with you, I'd like to go selfish with this one. Both of my fantasy teams, thanks to all the athletic lists that I steal from when I'm drafting my fantasy teams, have Kevin Fiala. So I need Kevin Fiala to score tonight, especially with Tage Thompson getting injured earlier today. Can you believe there was a 12:30 game today? Tage scored, and then he was promptly injured, which really sucks. So Kevin Fiala, going to need him to score. Now let's look at the Calgary Flames lineup. Man, the forwards for the Calgary Flames are so different than they used to be. One guy I want to look at, I want to know what you guys think, is Matt Coronado. Because he was having a little bit of, he was a little bit on the fourth line earlier this year, but he's been hot lately. Do we go Coronado? Do we go Sharon Govich, who had a breakout year last year? Do we go with somebody who's like playoff gritty? The Flames and LA Kings don't get along, going back to Doughty Tkachuk. Do we go Blake Coleman? Do we go gritty Nazem Kadri? Okay. I want to go Sharon Govich, but I can't help but say Matt Coronado. What do you guys think? I'd like to do Matt Coronado. I don't have any Flames on my fantasy team. So, yeah. Neil Orchard said Coronado about to get major ice with Mantha out. You know what? I think that might be worth it. Let's go Matt Coronado, okay? So we're going to do Fiala for the LA Kings. We're going to do Coronado, who I'm a big fan of for the Calgary Flames. I actually have been a big fan of this guy for a few years, and I remember getting super pissed when Sutter refused to play him because I was like, there's something here. Leafs, Bucks Nation, Kadri Hattie. I'd love to see a Kadri Hattie. Listen, in the past, these two teams have hated each other. I don't know if that's necessarily the same anymore with some of the usual suspects no longer with the organization, but there's no question, like, this is a huge game for both of them. You look at the points percentage in the division, right? Because the Flames have played one game less than the LA Kings. And by points percentage, the Vegas Golden Knights are the best team in the division, even though the Kings technically lead currently. But Calgary's in fourth, and they're up on Edmonton, who are turning it around. And Calgary's kind of faltered in the last 10. And I think if you want a real strike at the playoffs, this next month for Calgary is going to be key because, you know, the Elliot Friedman, if you're not in the playoffs by American Thanksgiving, you might, right? Calgary started hot. This is a team that can win. This is a team that can score. I'm curious. I don't know, man. I think tonight's a big matchup for them. We're going to find out a lot about the Calgary Flames tonight. I think it's worth mentioning, too, with Hayden. I'm going to pull up his stat sheet. The Kings rank fourth in the NHL in goals with 38 in 16 games played. The Flames, 20th with 27 in 15 games played. Now, anybody with a brain could have told you, yeah, Calgary might struggle to score this year. But for them to be, I know technically with that, but that is not bad for what we were expecting the Flames. Like, we were expecting them to be maybe bottoming out. Not so much. By the way, I'll tell you what Flame I have on my fantasy team, Rasmus Anderson. And somehow, on both teams, I was able to pick him up on waivers. Get that out. I don't know how that happened. We got face-off here, and we are off. Flames and Kings, and I've got some more stats for you that I'm going to read out here. The Kings have allowed the least amount of rebound shots on goal in the NHL. So if the Flames are going to score here, they're probably going to need to do exactly what the Kings are good at not allowing you to do, which is rebounds. And I'm looking at the goals for, goals against here. The Los Angeles Kings are 16th in the league with 47 goals against. The Flames are 17th with 47 goals against. Isn't that funny? Only the differential in goals versus goals against kind of really makes a difference here. It's going to be fascinating to see how each of these teams deal with each other's thing. And LA is interesting to me because they've got this young, flashy defense that is eventually going to take over for Drew Doughty. The Flames are in full rebuild supposedly, and now they might be in a playoff picture eventually this season. I don't know. I'm excited for tonight's game. It's a good one. Seems like a good Monday night in Calgary. I'm looking at 19:10 on the clock, by the way, for anybody that wants to synchronize their clocks. Here's Mikey Anderson. Who's the better Anderson in this game, Mikey or Rasmus? Who wins the Anderson Cup? Ian says, Adam, how much are you enjoying these Amazon games? Immensely. I love Amazon's formula. Keep it simple. Just, have smart people be in the moment, be in the game. They're always at the arena. You could see the Flames fans were crowding around them there. And I think it was kind of neat. Like, I saw in Edmonton last week, it didn't seem like they were crowding around the broadcast booth as much. Flames fans were in there like yelling and screaming, and that's what you need. You want to get the vibe of the game, not the vibe of like some studio that's off-site, right? They've done a really great job of that. There is a super chat from Hockey Fan. 19 times 8. That's a lot of money. Yo, Adam, it's Alberta Oil Guy here. Recently came into some more money through working, and I'm curious, what's the best way to get in touch with y'all about charitable initiatives? Charitable initiatives. Well, we always obviously have the Easter Seals thing or whatever. If you want to chat, info@stpn.ca is always a great place to start. That's where most of our requests for anything come in. So if you ever have a question or whatever, info@stpn.ca. It doesn't have to just be charity, it can be anything. If you guys have questions or comments or whatever it is that you want to send in, that's our sort of main email, and then it kind of gets filtered through there. By the way, I do have a Movember page. We are raising money for Movember this month. So that would be the charitable initiative I'd love for you to donate to if you can. This mustache, Alan gave me crap about it, but I think it's coming in pretty good. And I let it go over the sides a little bit here. I wanted it to come to here, not like here. I just thought it was like a little. It's coming through. It's coming through. It's a lot better, a lot thicker than it was last week, right? 17:01 left in the first period. Frank Suffern, the Easter Seals thing or whatever, speaking for Steve here. No, I meant like when I say the Easter Seals thing or whatever, I'm like, whatever we're doing this particular month. We always like to try to raise money for charity. By the way, it looks like a lot of Flames fans in the chat tonight. 71% of you say go Flames. Damn. What does Adam hate more, Tony Hand stats or the linesman fake dropping the puck? Absolutely the linesman fake dropping the puck. Stop it. We're not here to see you. No shots for the LA Kings yet. 2 for the Flames, although nothing crazy on either side. This game seems to have a little spice to it, although it's early. 16-15 left in the first period. Is Natalie going to hate November 29th or 30th for Adam's mustache goal? No, actually, Natalie is pro mustache. Natalie wants me to keep it. She's been asking me to grow it for a long time, and she keeps bringing up Tom Selleck's name, which I think is unfair to a guy like me because I don't look like Tom Selleck. And Tom Selleck puts it in proper. And I think, yeah, anyway, I don't know. We'll see how it looks at the end of the month if I keep it, but she desperately wants me to. And I'm just like, okay. I don't know how anyone can take me seriously with this thing, but we'll see. Somebody in the chat saying, Adam, the stash needs 3 to 6 months to fill in fully. Don't give up on it. It's good. Well, listen, I mean, it's not like, I don't know. Does it here? Okay. So here's where I'm at with facial hair. And I know this has changed, but I remember when I went to college for radio, they told me that, and they told all of our class that you on the air and in sales should never have facial hair because people with beards, it had been audience tested, and this is 2008, 2009, that anybody with a beard was not trustworthy. And I find that hilarious because like news anchors in the 70s had beards and mustaches and all that, but it was the style at the time. And then right after that, it became cool again to have a beard because like the hipster thing and whatever took off. And I just never grew facial hair because I wasn't like good at it. Like Jesse looks good with it, right? I don't know. Yeah, we got the chat up now. How do we feel about Adam's mustache? I am hot and bothered. And the other one, it's for charity, I guess. Craig McKenzie, greetings from Australia. Hi, Craig. Glad that you're joining us. Face-off win for the Flames inside the LA zone, although nothing really doing there. Kind of been a bit of a grappling match for the first 5 minutes of this game. I'm curious to see a couple of things. How quickly LA moves the puck because they have the goal scoring touch that I think the Flames don't. And I think if Edmonton can do a really good job of turning it around quickly, they'll catch the Flames eventually on a rush. That said, Calgary's had a surprise good year this year, and I know they've tailed off a little bit, but if you can get an average performance from Sharon Govich, average being somewhat what he did last year, if you can get an average, like if you can get Huberdeau back to 80 points, man, tell me the Flames aren't a threat for the playoffs. Like they're everything that I think the Montreal Canadiens thought that they might be. You know what I'm saying? Like the Flames, or going into this season, everybody wrote off the Flames, and everybody said, well, if everything goes well in Montreal, maybe they challenge for a playoff spot. But everybody's like, but it's not likely going to happen. The Flames now, I think, are that team. Everything goes right. Why can't you? Justin is pro mustache. Need a third option on the poll. I'm going to say hot and bothered. Wow. Right now, 57% of people are saying, no, you can't do the mustache. If that stash looks better with growth, savor it. Flames playing well now, but it's a long season. Can they keep it going? Well, that's the same for any team on the cusp, right? And my question with the Flames is, do they want to? Like, I get that, wants to, but uh, the Calgary Flames are an interesting case because do you want a top 10 pick that's going to augment your roster in the next 1 to 3 years? Or do you think, oh, we've already got some guys, Pelletier and Coronado and, Wolf and these guys that, have been in the minors for a while and have been cooking. And now it's time for them to step up and maybe we can augment via trade or free agency if we need some high end talent. Like the one thing I'll say about the Flames is they're strong at center. Like as much as they're not gonna blow your brains, like blow you away, like this is crazy, mind blown. Whoa, Nazem Kadri's a great center. Backlund's been a great center for a long time. Pospisil's been a nice little surprise. I think. I don't think like was anybody like, hey, Martin Pospisil, that's my guy, and yet I want to pull his stats up. He's also got a mustache. Do you want to throw that out there? He's been good. He's been serviceable. Bubby, you don't look trustworthy. Well, thank you. I'm trying. And then I look at the Flames and I go, there's a real opportunity in this division. If Seattle keeps not being as good as we think they should be, the Ducks and Sharks are blank spaces. The Oilers started bad, but they're coming on strong. And then I look at the other side and I'm like, okay, Calgary's got 17 points already. The Colorado Avalanche are injured to death. The Utah HC, man, despite all their wins, are like, if you have Connor Ingram in fantasy, you're like, wow, he's got 6 wins. That's great. Holy, and his save percentage is 875. How is that even possible? And I guess they're just scoring a lot. And they've allowed 51 goals and scored 41. I think that Calgary's got a real chance here at a wild card spot. So you got to win these games. You got to at least be in these games, but I don't know. They actually legit have a shot here. It's kind of crazy that the West is as bonkers as it is right now. Like, who picked the Minnesota Wild to be this good? And now producer Hayden, who is a huge Wild fan, like in any other division this year, the Minnesota Wild are either tied for or they are the top team. But because they're in the Central and the Jets, who have a 9.33 winning percentage right now, that's right, they have won 14 games and lost 1 game to the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Wild are kind of getting shafted here and forgotten about, but they have 10 wins. I don't know. They're the second. They're one of 3 teams in the league right now with double-digit wins. The Wild are a surprise. The Dallas Stars are as good as they've ever been. They're solid. Colorado, like I said, is injured, but you've got Utah, you've got Colorado, and you've got St. Louis, and maybe Chicago, but I don't think they're going to fight for a playoff spot. I think the Pacific has an opportunity here to take both wildcard spots. And I don't know if that's, the Flames and I don't know who would fall down, but I think that the Flames have got to be in that conversation. And so if you do have to rebuild and you're the Flames, but you also can make the playoffs, don't you try to make the playoffs? Isn't that the goal? I think that's the goal, right? Anyway, we'll see. 13 minutes left in the first period. I want to let you know that former Flames beat reporter, now Sens beat reporter, Julian McKenzie, was at SDPN today with one Chris Johnson. You should check out their show. Oh, we got a shot by the Flames there. Missed wide. And they get to do the show in person because the Senators are in town tomorrow night, and Julian was able to drive in, which I think is great. Isn't that grand? Super duper. All right. A little bit of offensive pressure here by the Flames. Again, not a high event game so far, but I think that's probably what they both want. Hayden just asked me a question. Do the Kings get a shot before the 10-minute mark? Oh man. I don't know how we ended up with all these low event games, but we did, Gripper Nation. And it goes back to Nashville. Like Nashville, our first game together was a Nashville game when the Preds were like kicking ass in the regular season. And then we got the Nashville Vancouver series for series 1 in the Western Conference, and that was low event. We didn't really start to get exciting hockey really until the Edmonton Vancouver series, which was just a spectacular series. That was such a good time. Wow, they had a lot of players on the ice there. The LA Kings forgot how to make a line change, and here we go with the Calgary power play, which is not been so bad. Let me check that out again. Power play. Calgary Flames. There we go. I'm looking for it. Where are you? Calgary Flames in the NHL here. 25th. It's been bad. Okay. Well, you know what? It's interesting. We say it's been bad, but they are 2 goals shy of what the Leafs currently have, and the Leafs are 13th. And that just kind of goes to show, like, the Leafs have 11. Oh, sorry, they're 4 goals now. The Leafs have 11. The Flames have 7. That's not a huge difference. Right now, the difference between, like, top third and bottom third is 4 or 5 goals. Again, nobody expected the count. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you look at the shot counter. The Flames had 3 shots, but then the NHL corrected it and said, no, one of those shots was not actually a shot. So they're back down to 2. We've had 2 shots in the entire game so far, and we are now just about 9 minutes in. 11-13 left on the first. Here we go. I'm going to clap for the start of a face-off. This ref better drop it. There we go. Beautiful. Backlund loses the draw. All right, let's see it happen. Oh, Backlund with a nice shot. That counted as a shot. Good save. Oh, Kuzmenko gives the puck away. Here comes Trevor Moore. Penalty kill god. Former Leaf, which instantly makes him great against the Leafs. Thank goodness he's in the West Coast. Man, the PK for the LA Kings, they said over the last few games, is like 13 for 15. Not bad. It's a good little PK. Tyson Barrie, also former Leaf. Backlund in. Oh, there you go. A couple of rebounds. And here's the thing. LA's really good at clearing those normally. Good save. We're feeling good. Darcy Kemper. By the way, if there are any Kings fans in the chat. Oh, did Cassie drop 50 subs? Cassie. Thank you. We love you, Cassie. By the way, Kings fans, just shout out Cassie. Just the best. I don't even know what to say at this point. Cassie tweeted me tonight and said she has to be up at like 4 a.m. So I thought she wasn't joining us tonight, but I guess she made time. Yeah. Oh, she was. Yeah. Hayden's like, she was watching her Pittsburgh Penguins get lit up. That's true. Penguins had 6 dropped on them in the first period. Cassie, good night all. Got to be up at 4 a.m. unfortunately. Yeah, I know those 4 a.m. wake-up calls well, and they are not fun, and we wish you the best. Thank you, Cassie. Thank you, and good luck getting up tomorrow. Wow, what a legend, man. Like, she's amazing. Hey, can we talk a little bit about just the... Can we talk about the Penguins a little bit? What's going on there, man? Like, I wasn't out predicting that they'd be this bad. And again, I asked the question. How long is Sydney signing up for this? How long is Gino signing up for this? How long is Chris Letang signing up for this? Erik Karlsson, well, if anybody trades for you, amazing. But Cassie, let's not talk about it. Wait until Cassie's gone before we talk about the Penguins. LOL. Oh no. Sorry, I got to ask the question. How long is Sid signing up for this, guys? I got to ask. Okay. So Hayden, text that to me because that's a crazy stat and I can't remember that. You text that to me so I can read out. Hayden's got a crazy stat. This is insane. Text that to me, Hayden, because the people need to know. The people need to know. Cassie says, "Hey Adam, how long is Matthews going to go without a cup?" Yo, good point. That's a question for the ages. You could ask that about Sittler, Gilmore, Sundin, and now Matthews. A long, sad time. Hayden Matheson says this: the Dallas Stars had as many goals in their first period as the Dallas Cowboys had in their entire game. As in, like, the Cowboys only had 6 points. Did they really only score 6 points? Oh my God, the Cowboys are bad. Yeah. Hey, Cassie, we love you. All right. All right. So Flames fans, or sorry, Kings fans, here's what I want to know about your team. Darcy Kemper. Tell me about Darcy Kemper. How's he been for you this year? How are you feeling about him? As obviously you had to move on from Pierre-Luc Dubois. I got to know, does Darcy Kemper feel like the guy for you? Okay stats to start the year. 4 wins, 272 goals against average, 900 save percentage. It's the save percentage especially is well under his career average. Do we like? Sorry, no, yeah, he's 4-1, 4-1-3. So it's like without overtime points, he's even 4-4. We like him. I feel like it's a better situation than last year. By the way, in case you're keeping track, the LA Kings did not get a single shot before the 10-minute mark. Not one. The Flames only had 2 going into that last power play, and then they got a bunch in there, so they now have 7 shots. Man, I don't know what it is. We end up with a lot of low-event hockey on Monday nights. I don't know how we ended up with this. There's Kevin Fiala, who we're banking on to score here. Everybody's fantasy team needs Kevin Fiala to score. I saw a bunch of other people who also have Kevin Fiala. Good fantasy pickup. Solid. Here's Brandt Clarke. That is the first shot for the LA Kings this game. Brandt Clarke on a shot, and he gets the second shot for the LA Kings this game. Wow, look at Brandt Clarke. Just putting up. Oh, Connor Zary with a move. Oh, he should have shot. Why did he pass? Oh, Connor. Dude, what a move. You got to shoot there. You got to move, make a move on that goalie. Come on, man. That's a very Leaf move. Do an insane move, be one-on-one with the goalie, and still pass. He'd be perfect as a Leaf. Just a bunch of guys not shooting. Although the Leafs have changed that lately. It's been nice. Mackenzie Weegar's down deep. Man, that Connor Zary move was, ooh, yeah, baby. That was sexy. All right, we're at 7:56. Anybody trying to keep up? Miramanov with a shot. Kemper covers it. Ooh, Connor Zary, you bad boy. SLS, Russell Wilson, the GOAT, Steelers country, let's ride. I don't know, isn't it Steelers country, let's drill, because they're all, or Steelers country, let's schmelt because of steel. I don't know. But anyway, very exciting for I love that the Pittsburgh Steelers are 7-2. I just love it. Michael Borland. I was surprised the pod didn't mention Ridley Greig's return to Toronto tomorrow. I'll be honest with you, Michael. I don't know if you're a Leaf fan or not, but I can't think of a single Leaf fan who thinks about Ridley Greig. It'll be like, oh, the game starts and you're like, oh yeah, Ridley Greig. Yeah, I remember being mad about that. Which is not, I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but if Ridley Greig is your big, and maybe he's a huge factor tomorrow. Like, the Senators always play the Leafs well. Always. They bring their A game, and it's in Toronto. The Senators won, I think they won this weekend, and they want to embarrass the Leafs in their building. I get it. But, like, I don't know. If the Leafs are, like, thinking about Ridley Greig at this point, you got the wrong priority. You need to be focused on getting those pucks deep and getting bodies to the net, which is a Leafs problem. I don't know. Should we think about Ridley Greig? He's a good shithead, eh? Like, he's really good. He's good at He's so good at being a rat, and I mean that as a compliment. Ooh, a bit of a wonky hit there. He's really good at what he does, and as the Senators continue to progress, you're going to need a guy like him. The Leafs didn't have that, and really was very noticeable. Gripper Nation, more like Adam's Coffee Crew. True. Mark Andre Muriel says, Adam, stop hating on the Ducks. I'm not hating on the Ducks. The Ducks look listless, like they've looked the last 3 years. Although they did get that nice win this weekend. Yeah, must give them that. But listen, is it hating on the Ducks? Oh, here we got a breakaway. Oh! Oh! Man. I think that was it? It was. That's right, it was Kevin Fiala. I was hoping to be right for once and make Justin drop those gift subs. We were so close to getting gifted subs. I mean, Cassie jumped in and got crazy because she always does, and we love you, Cassie, who's probably going to bed now. But Kevin Fiala would have been nice to get that because I would have called that goal. That stash is glorious. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. I look at Ridley as a Brandon Hagel, Brad Marchand type. He is, and he's good at it. You have to be good. Like there's guys that are rats that are, and I say rat with a compliment. Guys that are rats that get called all the time, and then there are guys that are rats that are respected. And to get the calls to go your way, you have to be respected by the refs, by your teammates. Like we all saw what happened between Muzzin and Tkachuk during the pandemic when the building was empty and Muzzin was basic, he flipped the puck at him and nobody on the Flames did anything. And there was rumors about the Flames being tired of Tkachuk's antics. And I remember thinking, wow, that's not great. That's not a great situation. And you look at what Matthew Tkachuk has done when he went to Florida, and they supported him, and his antics won him a cup. A guy like Ridley Gregg, who is not, I don't think he's at the talent level that Matthew Tkachuk is. That guy in the playoffs, that's it. That's an anxiety attack on the way to the rink. That's a guy you're like, God, I just hope that I don't have to match up against that guy all night. Wouldn't like that. Andrew Hayes, early season opinion on games being on Prime this year. Listen, Andrew, I think they've been spectacular. I think Prime has, to me, has put a really well done product together. It was time for some new blood in the Canadian market. Honestly, we have a bit of a stale media back and forth here. Not to take away from the broadcast of Sportsnet and TSN, because I think Sportsnet's gone through an unbelievable amount of change in the last few years, and so they're figuring out now their panels, and they're getting a lot better. They were a little stale there for a bit, and you throw a pandemic in there, and hard to develop talent, and yada yada yada. TSN's had the same people for a long, long time, and they do a great job. They're pros. I think it's just nice to see the game done a different way. That's all. That's what I would say. Oh, Fiala's looking a little hungry tonight. I think we might have made a good pick with him. 507. Synchronize with me. What is more mid, the last year Metropolitan Division or this year the Mid-Atlantic Division? I don't know that the Atlantic is as mid as you think it is. I think it's feast or famine in the Atlantic. I think the Bruins will figure it out. The Lightning are always a threat. And don't kid yourself, just because they're not in the headlines right now doesn't mean that they're not very good. And they did lose Sergachev, they did lose Stamkos, but I'm telling you, watch out for the Lightning. They are very good, and I think they're actually better than they've shown. And the Florida Panthers are the Florida Panthers. Beyond that, I do like a little bit more lately what I've seen from the Ottawa Senators. They've had a 50-50 last 10, but I like it better. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen from the Sabres has been carrying them a little bit. We'll see. But I think there is a feast or famine. If you're a good team in the Atlantic, you're very good. If you're a bad team in the Atlantic, you're not very good. I'm not a believer in what the Detroit Red Wings are doing. They could prove me wrong. The Montreal Canadiens. I mean, what do you even say at this point? They're rebuilding, and it's going to be a while. But you look at this Canadiens lineup and you go, if they added a real, true, athletic, crazy good passer, second line center for when Laine comes back, that'd be a lot of fun, wouldn't it? That'd be a lot of fun. 3 minutes and 51 seconds left. 0-0. Shots are 9-5. LA didn't even get a shot until like the 11th minute of the first period. But it's been a really good back half. Been a really good one. The hate for the Bruins is weird when the Panthers exist. They're exactly what the Bruins used to be, but they get away with more. I think the reason that people hate the Bruins is they did it for so long. Like the Bruins were a solid 15 years of this. The Panthers have really only done this for a few years. We haven't had the time to have the hatred for the Panthers that we do for the Bruins. They haven't done everybody wrong the way that the Bruins did. You know what I mean? Takes a while. That kind of hate takes a while. By the way, 3 minutes and 4 seconds left. Here we go. At the 3 minute mark is now. That's the 3 minute mark. So make sure you synchronize yourself with me. Sync up. Adam is about 20 seconds behind the Amazon stream. There you go. And you can sync up with the Amazon stream because Prime allows you to do that. Here comes Kevin Fiala with a nice little steal. It's a 1-on-4. Oh, that's not Fiala. I thought it was 22. Haha, I'm wrong. That would be Trevor Moore. Fiala light. Fiala's out there. I love these new Kings jerseys. I also love Flames jerseys. It's good. It's a good jersey rivalry tonight. The Kings are coming on strong later in this period. They seem to have figured it out. Love Brant Clark's move right there. Back to Fiala. Oh, and he just misses the net. I'm liking our Fiala pick for the first goal. I feel like we made a good one. He's hungry tonight. He's buzzing. Warren Fogle, who I think the Oilers missed a little bit more than they thought they would. I forgot he was an LA King. Sometimes, you're watching a team that you haven't seen this season, and I'll admit I haven't watched a lot of Kings hockey, and you go, oh, yeah. Damn. Here's LaFerriere. Okay. 1 minute 35 left in the first period. Pretty low event, like we said. Oh, and we got a penalty. That it looks like a high sticking. I think it was a high sticking. Quentin Byfield looks like to be the guy that's going to go. Yeah, so we're going to have a nice little power play to end the period for the Flames. SDPN, I do really need a Kings jersey. You know what my idea for an SDPN jersey always was? Like, is we've got the Dangle Navy ones, but what if we had an SDPN branded jersey, but it looked like the Kings jersey? Because our colors are the same colors as the Kings. We're black, silver, and white. Oh, I didn't realize the Byfield. Well, that's a weak call on Byfield. I thought there was another play there. That's weird. Yeah, I've always thought the SDPN logo would look really sick as like an LA Kings jersey. Of course, I've done nothing about this. Haven't even told Jesse that. 7-6 LOL. The Flames have a back-to-back playing against the Canucks tomorrow. That's rough. That's but you know what? Whatever. It's the NHL. Like, oh, Connor Zary. Oh man. Yo, we should have picked Connor Zary. Dude is buzzing around tonight too. Damn. He should have scored twice already. I can't believe that he didn't score on that first one, but you can't be passing the puck when you are one-on-one with the goalie. Wow, that was a great play. Kemper had a big save there. I'm just pulling some stats here. So I'm looking at, what am I looking at here? I'm looking at this, our stat sheet from the stats god, Hayden. Something to keep an eye on as the game goes on. The Flames have the fourth most giveaways this season. The Flames have given away the puck 247 times in 15 games. The Kings rank fifth in giveaways with only 200. There's a easy stat to clean up if you're the Calgary Flames. You want to make the playoffs? You bring that down a little bit. Zary is looking really good tonight. Nice move into the zone, but nobody really supports him. 36 seconds left. Phil Deneau coming in. Little backhand shot. Flames have not taken it away from him. Kings retaining possession. There's Warren Foegele. Wheels back to his defense, just burning out times. Mikey Anderson. There's Gavrikov. By the way, Gavrikov, unrestricted free agent at the end of this year. He on purpose signed a shorter term deal so that he could make more money when the cap went up. And look at that. By the time he comes back to UFA, the cap will have gone up around 10%. And that is a significant amount of money. It's about $8 million extra on the cap. I think Gavrikov's going to be a guy that people are after this summer if he doesn't re-sign in LA. End of the first period. Shots are 9-7. Score is 0-0. Not bad. Not bad. This looks like a good little matchup. It's not as spicy as Flames and Kings used to be. I won't lie to you. I wish it would. That kind of spiciness I know is probably going forever, at least for the next little bit. But dude, that was fun. Those were fun days. No Kachuk and Doughty in this game, so makes me sad. But really, really good stuff. Yeah. So let's we're gonna roll into our first clip here in a second. And I want to answer a couple questions here. First off, Gavrikov sounds like a Treliving guy, MTS. Yo, MTS, he does sound like a Treliving guy, but I think Treliving got his guys. I think we know what the top four for the Toronto Maple Leafs is going to look like until a guy like Ben Danford is ready to step up and actually become the player that they expect him to be. Frank Suffren. Any team with black as their main color as jerseys is a poser. Yo, Frank, the Kings have had black and white since Gretzky got there, man. Like you can't say that they're posers. You can't say that. They've been the LA Kings colors since 88, man. We I'm 36. I was born in 88. What else we got here? Ban the name Connor in the NHL. We have too many. Oh man, I know. But it was a popular name for a while there. There were a lot of Connors. Tree loves his guys. Wonder when Matthews returns. Yeah, apparently he's not good to go, or he may not be good to go tomorrow. Oh, well. I don't know. I think the Leafs are doing just fine without him. I wonder if the Flames make a move. For a center this year. I think the Flames need a center. I think the Leafs need a center. I think Montreal needs a center. A lot of teams are all of a sudden, after a month, going, yeah, sure could use a center. Is Zary a superstar in the making? Boy, when Connor Zary shows you what he can do, you have to think it a little bit, right? You have to go like, wow, that guy kind of rocks. I don't know though. I mean, I hope so. I want him to be, but I also keep it in perspective. The guy is a first round pick. He's 23 though. Is this the breakout season? He's got the speed. He's got enough size. He's 6 feet tall. I don't know. Is Max Pacioretty on injury reserve now? I believe he would be on IR. Yeah, I don't think he's on LTIR. He's just on IR. But it's going to take some time. Prediction on Ovi's goals this year. I think Ovi's a 40 to 45 goals this year. I mean, I think he's going to, whatever it takes for him to pass Gretzky, and then a few more. That's all I'm thinking. That's what I think is what it is with Ovi. And that's why I have him on my fantasy team. The guy in the broadcast has 2 different colored eyes. Why did I just notice that? Which one? That's really cool. Anybody who has that, I'm so jealous. Like David Bowie had that. That's such a cool, like, I don't know. There's just, humans are cool. It's like that is even possible is neat. Yeah, SDPN, Leafs PR, Leafs Max Pacioretty's been placed on IR as listed as week to week. Yeah, so like, but they don't have him on like LTIR like the way they do with Calle Yarncroke, so I'm not as worried about it. Hey, so they're advertising right now Star Wars Outlaws, and that game is known as like a big failure. Did anybody play it? Did you guys play it? I'm just curious. Did anybody play it? Did anyone like it? Hayden played it and he refunded it. Hayden, was it that bad? Hayden says it's undercooked, needed another year in development. Damn. Wow. If Ovio's on the Leafs, he'd come up 1 goal short. A lot of people saying no, didn't play it. No, didn't play it. Looks kind of mid. Watched videos. Yeah, I did too. I didn't buy it. I just stayed away from it. My hazel eyes are sometimes green and sometimes gray. That's all I got. Hey, I got blue eyes, right? But sometimes they're green, and I don't understand that. But my eyes go back and forth. They're mostly blue, but they sometimes can be green. Can you see them? Is this a good look for me? I'm still waiting for Grand Theft Auto 6. Yeah, no kidding. Justin says, I have it. I'm going to play it after my current Cyberpunk playthrough. Well, it's hard to get upset at. Cyberpunk, man. Comeback game of the century. You were so excited to buy it and play it, even with the Jabba mission that you had to pay for. Whatever happened? Man, I watched some of the videos. Like I'm anti pre-ordering any game now. I won't pre-order any game. I wait for it to come out. I watch some videos, and I want to see if the game is actually worth the time. Because when I've got a 5.5-year-old at home, and running a business and all the other things, I don't have a lot of like spare time. So I always feel like if I'm going to take my spare time, I want to devote it to something great. One of the games that I want to play so bad is the Warhammer one. That looks apparently just like a bonkers alien shooter, awesome game. I want to try that. Maybe what I'll do is I'll get it here at SDPN and we can stream it and we can have some fun together on that one. Have you played Far Cry 6? Yes, I've played every Far Cry since the third one, and I think they're getting a little stale. I liked Far Cry 6. I didn't love it. Far Cry 3 was like, I remember playing that for the first time going, I cannot believe this exists. This is amazing. And it's been the same game since. And I like the formula. And I think, but like after a while, it's like, okay, I'm going to climb up another radio tower. And, it's just, it's the same with Assassin's Creed too. They're just a real grind. Don't get into Warhammer if you like money and free time. No, I'm talking about the video game. Yeah, anyway. Space Marine, that's the one. Adam promised me he'll play Space Marine with Tim and I in December. Maybe we'll put that on the stream. We'll have some fun. Hey, why don't I play this clip for you so we can go to the bathroom and take a break here? No, we're going to play how the Leafs fixed their power play. So this is the Leafs went into the weekend with like 5 total power play goals. They now have 11. How did that happen? Let's talk about it. This time last week, the Toronto Maple Leafs had the 31st best power play in the league. Now, switch around that 1 and 3. They're They're 13th.
They have a top half power play.
They have a top half power play after this weekend. They went into this weekend on fire, actually, on the power play with 4 total power play goals. They now have 9.
They scored like 6 straight goals.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It was crazy.
The power play is lethal, and everybody wants to make it about Austin Matthews not being there. Let's park that for a second.
The streak began with him.
It did. So let's park that for a second, though. Mm-hmm. Austin's out. Let's just talk about what's working on the power play, boys. Jesse, specifically, you were at the games. Mm-hmm. You saw the Hall of Fame game, and then you saw the Montreal Canadiens.
No, I wasn't there on Friday.
You were there on Friday.
No, Friday I wasn't there.
You were there on Montreal.
I was there on Saturday was the Remembrance Day game. It was fucking fantastic what they did with the pregame ceremony.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
watch that on TV. It was beautiful.
Did they show all the Centurions they brought out?
Yes.
Oh
100
my
years
gosh.
old.
And I was like, oh my god.
And they're like, this guy was in the army before he was eligible, and he snuck in. He lied about his age. It was like the three of them. And I was like, you guys are just ambitious.
Yeah.
back then.
That's my grandpa did that.
The same thing. Yeah, he lied about his age.
Lied about his age to fight.
Yeah.
He was
And
17.
the-
I was not doing that. At
The courage to do that as a teenager, and then to successfully go through the war, and then now to be around at 100 to be celebrating Remembrance Day, like it was incredible.
It's amazing.
It brought a tear to my eye.
The way he told the story is when he went to sign up, they go, "How old are you?" He goes, 18. He goes, "Sure you are." And he just let him
They
sign
didn't
up.
care.
He just let him sign up, put him on a boat.
Yeah, they just wanted bodies.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, it's so they didn't have to conscript people.
Yes. That's
So
it.
let the people who want to come.
But it was like
So-
he tells it. Sorry, like it's literally like him and like four friends. They were hanging out and they're like, "We're gonna get. You want to just sign up?" And they just went. That was their hangout for the day. Let's go sign up for the war.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah. The
so
courage.
So back to the power play for a second here. So the what I wanted to go to you with, Jesse, was what in seeing it in person, what is now working that was not?
It's definitely more fluid in the sense that they're whipping the puck around the zone.
Confidence.
They're not trying the cross crease pass that they love when Matthews is out there, and you're seeing guys not look for the perfect shot. You know, they're not trying to find anyone. They're just sending the puck to the net, getting it around the areas where they should be. And there's a certain confidence, like you said, with, hey, one of us out here can score now, and we're just going to find a way to do it.
I liked the Bruins game where they were just scoring power play goals at will. Like that's Matthew Nyes, I think, really ties the room together on that power play. I feel like the Habs game wasn't the greatest example of why the Leafs power play is working because, dude, that team
We'll get to the Habs,
is
by the way.
terrible.
They're bad.
I
They're
can't,
really bad.
I can't believe it.
As of this morning, they're last in the NHL.
Maybe I should believe it. Like they didn't make the playoffs last year. They're still rebuilding, but that was the thing I said heading into this season was they need to show steps and they're going backward.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Doesn't
Like,
help that they're somewhat molasses at center too. Like they're
their forwards don't help out their D at all.
no,
At all.
no, it's bad. But the power
they're
play.
they're not being ironically, they're not being as picky about their shots.
Yeah.
They're just taking it. And I do think confidence is a huge part of it. Like we've already expressed ad nauseum. Yeah, go to the net.
Yeah.
Which they do, but there's a confidence with what they're doing now, and they should be confident in what they're doing because it's going in.
What I'm curious about is bringing the Matthews part into it. Is what the coaching staff has traditionally done on this team is go right back to what wasn't working, because that's what the players want. And what has really come to the fore here in the last few games is the play of Mitch Marner without Austin. And people are going, wow. And I have been a proponent of breaking these guys up, as you guys know, for months and months, dating back to last year. And I think it's because it's not because they're not great together. It's not because they haven't done crazy things together. It's because their habits together are so ingrained. Oh, we know where each other's going to be. I think specifically because that reason exists and replays exist and teams study these guys, I think that they're predictable.
Those players are smart enough that they can figure out where anyone is. If they can split all three of them up, I mean, that carries you through the entire regular season.
Exactly.
You come up with another plan maybe for the playoffs, the whole regular season, it's a joke. You cruise to the playoffs. If you come up with three lines that work, it's a joke.
And I think that's what's been great, as a Leaf fan and watching fan reactions to it, is that this guy, Mitch Marner, is like, oh wow, like he's so good on his own. He doesn't need this. And it was clear to me last year that when when Austin was between Bertuzzi and Domi, that he didn't need it either. And so
that line was so good.
It was so good, and I think that's where I want to see this team go. I want to see what a power play with Bobby McMahon and Austin Matthews and someone else looks like. I want to see what Nylander and Mitch do on the first unit. I'm worried about this because the way the power play is structured right now, you got two bumpers, right? You've got Tavares and Nyes who are consistently in front of the net. Tavares is higher, Nyes is towards the goalie, but that's
what most good power plays.
And then you've
What?
and then the Siri interrupted the show.
Okay. Whoever did the last Apple update, you broke it. Go back. It's been horrible. Holy shit.
So I look at this and I go, okay, so Austin comes back and instantly they're going to go, well, we'll put him on the first power play unit. And I'm concerned about that because the reason that Nyes is able to be so effective in his spot and the reason that Tavares has been so effective in his spot is because of each other.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm trying to go through the 4 power play goals that we saw Friday, Saturday. And if you look at them, and I want to talk about each one because they lend to Mitch and Tavares really worked and were the reason that they scored these 4 goals. One on Saturday was Willie entering the zone and he just wires a wrister.
Yeah, man, they could do stuff off the rush again.
That is completely
what happened?
That's separate from the Mitch and Tavares conversation, but it lends to like, hey, them scoring off the rush? What is this team? That's impossible. They never do that.
Scoring a variety of ways is so important to the potency of your power play because you need to prove you're dangerous in every facet.
So the one that Mitch scores, it's Willie off of the rush. Well, Mitch has the puck going into the zone, and then Willie gets it, and then Willie shoots, and it's a rebound that Mitch, because he's following the play to the net, he scores that rebound. There we go, Mitch Marner scoring the goal. The other 2 are John Tavares goals, where Mitch Marner is working the zone of the power play. He's doing this little thing where he shows off his excellent edge work, and he's just skating around doing dipsy doodles, but then he sends the puck to Tavares to the middle, where he's in his position where you're talking about, Adam, and Tavares turns around suddenly and just fires it to the net. One of them goes in right away, and then the other one is his own rebound that he follows. Yep. So we have 3 of the goals that happened. 3 of the 4 are Mitch Marner creating the play. One's him going to the net for the rebound. The other one's him finding Tavares. And then Tavares capitalizes on the other 2 where he's in the middle of the ice and he's shooting and scoring. So
how much, like, that Tavares spin and fire is harder to pull off when you don't have a legitimate threat in front of the net. Nyes is that legitimate threat.
Yeah, they figured something out here.
Yes,
and we're saying, like, if the goals have a consistent factor here, which is
which they do,
Mitch creating the plays and Tavares shooting and scoring and Willie entering the zone on the rush, like all of those things happen consistently over the weekend. I don't know how you can just go back and be like, okay, let's take all this away.
Okay, babies, we're back. All right, now I wanted to, and I talked to you about this a little bit before the period started. I wanted to talk to you about this particular thing that Jesse has put together, and it's called the Blakedown. And he basically goes into NHL Edge, which is actually turned into the NHL website's turned into a pretty good website finally. And I think Jesse does a really great job of breaking down the goals. Now, if you're a Penguins fan, you might not love this. The Stars hung 6 goals on him in the first period. I want to play you a minute of what Jesse put together tonight, which is all 6 goals with the NHL Edge breakdown. So let's just go through the first one. Check it out.
We have on our hands one of the most embarrassing performances by any National Hockey League team currently happening right now, because I'm recording this at the intermission of Stars versus Penguins, and the score is 6-0 for the Dallas Stars because the Pittsburgh Penguins decide to show up and not play hockey. And I'm going to do a special NHL Edge Blake down for tonight, and I'm going to try and go through all 6 goals for the Dallas Stars that happened in the first period. Let's get it going. Let's try and be speedy about this, and let's see if I can do this. So the first goal happens on the first shot of the game for the Dallas Stars. And we have here Matt Duchene getting the puck from Mason Marchment, who's at center ice. And what happens here is we have Ryan Graves just completely swipe by Matt Duchene and let him just take his old time to the net. Chris Letang can't cover for Ryan Graves, who just gets completely walked by Duchene, and Duchene fires the first shot of the game on the net. Bloomquist can't make a save because he's not that good of a goaltender right now, and it is 1-0 for the Dallas Stars. Goal number 2 happens on a nice low
All right, what'd you think? I love that he's doing those. I think it's the new thing that we're doing on the network, and I absolutely love that Jesse is doing it. I just think they're really fun, and I love those animations. And also, he was the one that pointed out to us that if you watch it live, you'll actually see where the Zambonis are over intermissions, which is kind of neat. Anyway, check out the breakdown. Jesse puts it out a lot. I'm not sure what the cadence and like when the release schedule will be, but it's a lot. So definitely worth checking out. I'm just pulling up some stuff on my screen here. Now, we're back into the game. Power play's about to end. And we're still waiting on who we think is going to score the first goal. Now, I said I think it's going to be Fiala for the Kings and it's going to be Coronado for the Flames, but I kind of wish I'd said Ziri because Connor Ziri is having like a really good game. And this is a guy that was picked in the first round 5 years ago. And you hope with a guy like him that he turns into something, right? Like you want him to be a guy and you need him this season to be that guy for you. You've put the hundreds of thousands of dollars in coaching and hours and this and that into this guy. It's now time for that to kind of happen for you. He had 34 points last year. Is Connor Ziri a 50-point guy? Is he a 60-point guy this year? The way he's playing tonight, I don't know, man. The guy's legit. I like this guy. Would love to see a little bit more of a high event game. I'm not going to lie, but these teams have played at least the back half of this game was a lot faster. And my stream is just. I'm going to give you a little time signature here. So 18:44 left in the second period. That's where I'm at. Game has just dropped the puck again. I wasn't able to clap on to synchronize it just because I think the ref dropped the puck before the broadcast was ready. There was Kopitar with a shot. Weird angle. I want to say I was low on both of these teams going into this year. And it's funny because you'd think, oh, well, isn't that embarrassing? And I think that's what's fun about the NHL because a lot of times in other sports, you can have guys that can correct, like in football, football teams are far more predictable than hockey teams are. Baseball teams can be far more predictable than hockey teams. Injuries and all that stuff obviously play a factor too, and you can never predict those. But hockey is like there are teams where you're like, why are you good? And you watch them, you go, I get why you're good, but I look at your roster on paper and I go, why are you good? And that's what I love about hockey is that there really isn't a great way to be super predictive. You know who some of the good teams are going to be, but there are teams every year where you're like, this team should suck, and they don't. For me, last year it was the Preds. I thought that team wasn't good, and they weren't good until they were great, until they were the best team in the NHL and didn't like lose in regulation over that. Was it a 20-game stretch? It's insane. I was thinking about what would have happened if that happened in Toronto. The hype would have been insane. The letdown afterwards would have been terrible. If they had done that and then lost in the first round, oh my God. Now forget what any other group of fans would have said about the Maple Leafs, what Maple Leaf fans would have said. Just a whole next level. Now we're looking for two guys to score. We're calling, we think it's going to be Coronado. Well, I said Coronado. I actually now think it's going to be Zary who scores for the Flames. And I think Fiala for the LA Kings. And I noticed a lot of people were like, yeah, Fiala's on my fantasy team. Me too. I get you. There's Ryan Lomberg, Stanley Cup winner, the Lamborghini. Good vibes guy. If you want to have a good dressing room, like a fun group of guys, Lomberg's a guy you need. Absolutely must have him. Also, you should Google pictures of him carrying the Stanley Cup around. I don't think he wore a shirt for a whole week. Like, I don't think he knows what a shirt is. What a party that must have been. South Florida, Stanley Cup. Are you kidding me? I don't think you sleep. I don't think you could. It's amazing. Also, by the way, if you have a mustache ever, You find yourself doing this a lot when you're pondering. I don't know what it is. There's something very satisfying about that. It's weird. Tanner Jeannot is a plug. Well, Brock Besser, yes, I can imagine you would think that. Philly teams don't often win. Well, we're talking about Philly in the chat here. Cheering for Calgary here. Still love Nazem Kadri. How do you not? Oh, the Flyers have a 3-0 lead on the Sharks. They blew it. Oh boy. I want to go back and look at all those goals, how they blew it. Because if we're talking, first off, if Mitchkov's on the ice for any of those, he's a +2 tonight. Okay, good. Oh man, the Flyers, man. You know, I think the Flyers made a mistake when they didn't like go get a veteran goaltender like a Laurent Brossoit or someone like that. You needed somebody. I know you had Kolosov. I know you had Fedotov. I know you have Arison, but Kolosov and Fedotov have been, up until recently, borderline unplayable. I don't know. I don't know what you do if you're Philly. Just these are the growing pains, and you shouldn't react. I don't know. 15:26 left in the second period. Here's Huberdeau in the Flames zone. So they just said something on the broadcast I want to check in on. Jonathan Huberdeau is 1 assist shy of 500, so we could see some history tonight. 500 assists. Oh, baby. And he almost just got it there. Nice little setup with Pospisil, but it was a little behind him. You know, there was a time in Los Angeles where the question was, is it going to be Jordan Spence or is it going to be Brant Clark? Which one are they going to have to trade? And this year, because of the Drew Doughty injury, we're getting both of them at the same time. And I think they're probably happy that they kept them both because they're both looking pretty good. And, you know, you move Sean Durzi to Arizona, which I think they felt like they had to do. And he was spectacular in Arizona and then got, you know, his big extension in Utah and now is injured. But, dude, defenseman factory here in LA for a bit, or at least on the right side. Right shot defenseman factory. And all these guys are really good at moving the puck. I would love to know who's teaching them. It's more than just drafting. Connor Zeri's in there. Kempe's got no stick. Nice little setup. There's Sharon Govich. Nice shot. These are, okay, I'll say this. The Flames are getting more shots, but I haven't seen many of them be like super dangerous. I'd like to see some guy in front of the net. You know what I'm saying? Uyghur at the point, over to Miramanov. Shot. There you go. There's Zeri in front of the net, trying to tip it in. Sharon Govich back out front. Man, good shift there. Good shift there by line one. That's what you need. More opportunities like that. Here we go. Flames taking it back down the zone. It's the fourth line. Oh, nice setup. Oh, man. Costco almost had one, guys. Justin Kirkland. Can you imagine picking him as the first guy to score? It would have been perfect. This is a good little match. I mean, I'd like to see a goal here. Kevin Rooney, Ryan Lomberg, Justin Kirkland. Good shift. Got to be kind of pumped if you're the head coach. By the way, I can never not love long hair underneath the helmet like that. Lomberg, sick. It looks sick. You can pull off the long hair look. Yeah. And he's got a mustache, a good one. I should look up to him. This game is going to be a shootout to make up for the 30 minutes of nothing. This is your penalty for streaming Leafs wins. I know, man. No, it is a good match. Like this is a good little match, says Adam through gritted teeth and clenched fists. It'd be nice to get a goal. Are you telling me this isn't exciting back and forth hockey? Oh, there's Andre Lee, not to be messed up with Anders Lee. Coronado to Backlund at Anderson. Anderson dumps it in. Man, I want to know what Steve streams and my streams do goal wise over the course of the season. Like, I think I'm going to be well under the amount of goals Steve gets. Part of that is Steve streams the Leafs and they score a lot, and they allow a lot too. But it's kind of frustrating. Here we go. Oh, Huberdeau sends it over the net. Nice setup too. Flames looking alive here. There's Kuzmenko, Pospisil in front of the net, just a little behind, and then the puck gets by Weegar, and we're going to see changes. That was really, really good pressure by the Calgary Flames. Pospisil with the shot. Oh, it looks like it goes off Kuzmenko's skate. Oh, back out front. And we got a one-on-one here. LaPierre, Fogle push into the net, tries to beat Huberdeau, but just nothing doing. Wow. I think that was the most exciting stretch of this game's had. Wow. So yeah, Kirkland's opportunity there did just go right into the goalie's chest. There's not much Justin Kirkland or Sidney Crosby or Wayne Gretzky could have done in that situation. Puck was going where it was going. You have to try to redirect it. Okay. What Calgary needs to do here is a lot like what the Leafs need to do always, which is bodies to the net, create chaos in front. LA's very good at clearing the box. They're good at getting pucks away from their goalie. You need to create chaos in front of Darcy Kemper. You have to. Maybe Adam should stream soccer. Yeah, man, no kidding. MT, how's Huberdeau been? Liked him on AP, and I hope things have turned around for him. He's better this year. 5 goals, 4 assists, 9 points in 15 games. I think obviously he'd probably want that to be higher. But, I think that this is a guy who, he had a bad coach the first year. He had a really bad team the next year. His ice time is down like 3-4 minutes a night from when he was on the Florida Panthers. His shooting percentage last year was crazy. It went from like a career average of about 13 to 15% all the way down to 8%. I remember when that happened. That happened to Kadri in Toronto. Like the year that the Leafs finished last and got to draft Nazem Kadri, got to draft Austin Matthews. The Leafs finished last, got to draft Austin Matthews. And part of the reason was Nazem Kadri was shooting at like a 4% conversion on goals. Like it was, I'm going to look it up. It's so crazy even to this day that it even happened. And he was good. And they were like trying to turn him into a leader. And he really did have a great year that year. But what was it? It was, so Toronto in 15-16, the guy had 17 goals, which is not bad, right? He had a 6.5 shooting percentage. 6.5. Still had 17 goals, 6.5. And then with the Leafs in 18-19, he was down to 8.7. And then with the Avs, his second season with the Avs, 6.5% in 56 games. This is a guy that, and now he's shooting about, his career average is about 11%. Huberdeau is such an interesting one because that contract is unmovable. But I still think that there's juice there. It's just the Flames have gone through a pretty ugly transition since he's come in. Let's not be like, this is the best the Flames have looked since they lost to Edmonton in that second round. And that like destroyed their team. Gaudreau left, Tkachuk left. I think that the Flames now are a far better team than they were last year, and a far better team than they were the year before when they were expected to make the playoffs and just stank out the joint, and they had a bad coach and all that stuff. I like it. Stemler, in interest of the Connor thing, I decided to read history. Mike or Michael is number 1, and honestly, that's very anticlimactic. James, I think Michael is like one of the most used names in the English language. It's like right up there with like a name like Muhammad. Like there are just so many people with the name Mike or Michael, and there's so many people with the name Muhammad. I think Connor in Canada became just like the name du jour in the early 2000s. If you were a kid born between like 1998 and 2006, chances are if you were a boy, you were Connor. I don't know why. Jack Maloney, by the way, Adam, love the pod. The Canucks are weird with injuries. By the way, Besser isn't out indefinitely. They say he's monitored day to day, but the timeline thing is just a Canuck thing. So, Jack, I know that. So it's interesting because they reported it as indefinitely, and then the coach says day to day, and I think that sums up having a concussion. One day it can feel like the most severe, awful thing in the world. The next day you feel fine. And the reality is neither are true. You need to rest and you need to let your brain heal and you need to relax. And I think we have no idea. We have no idea what Besser's thing is, but I'm telling you, I'm rooting for Brock Besser. Steeson Schiller. Whoa, I thought I was streaming Hockey Game, not the newest episode of Blue Bloods. Looking good there, Mr. Selleck. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. It needs to grow in a little bit, but I hope it works okay. Adam, I remember you and Steve talking about Port Union Bakery a while back. It's still open and their patties and donuts are awesome. Yeah, they were. Listen, every neighborhood has like a bakery that is owned by First that makes food that they shouldn't. I think the owners that are Korean and they're making like Jamaican patties and the most delicious puffy donuts you've ever had in your life. And they're amazing. It's so good. Like the patties were like flaky and just melt in your mouth. Amazing with just the right amount of spice to them. What are Adam's thoughts on Dogs Out December? Oh no. Dogs Out December. Is that a thing? Are we getting are the grippers? Are the dogs making an appearance? Ooh, I'd like that. Oh, they're doing a little Frank McCool shout out here on the podcast. What did you put on the screen, Hayden? What does it say? I can't even see it. Adam streaming after. Well, hold on. You spelled streaming wrong. Hayden, am I stremming? Who let the dogs out, Adam? Who let them out? It's true. That's good. You know what, Hayden? I think we got to try again with that graphic, but I like where you're going. By the way, producer Hayden getting bored. LOL. Listen, true, but let's get a goal here. The Flames have looked hot, so to speak. 9:29. We got a goal. We got a goal, baby, and that is Backlund. So Michael Backlund scores for the Calgary Flames. We still have the bet on Kevin Fiala scoring first for the LA Kings. Nice shot too, right over the goalie's shoulder into the top corner of the net. Nice goal. What happened? Let's see here. So there's Coronado deep. Creates a turnover, Backlund, goal. Wow. That quick. So it's Coleman that's behind the net. Coronado, I think, causes the actual turnover. Backlund with the goal. So listen, we didn't call the right guy scoring, but we did call the right line. And I think Coronado's going to get an assist on this. So I feel pretty good about that. That's the closest we've gotten this year. I'm so bad at picking the first goal scorer. Steve's really good at it. I don't know how he does it. So the Flames, when they score the first goal, are 5-1-1. When the Kings allow the first goal, they're 4-3-0. Okay. Now here's what you got to do. Don't be the Toronto Maple Leafs and allow a goal immediately. That's a Calgary problem. I don't know if that's a Kings problem. It's been a Leaf problem for like a decade. Be nice if we didn't do that here. Oh, nice pass by Kuzmenko. Oh, what a goal. Is that Huberto? Oh, what a goal. Oh, baby. So you were asking how Jonathan Huberdeau's doing. I think he's doing pretty good right now. Oh, my God. What a Kuzmenko with a crazy pass. Oh, my God. This is spectacular. Watch this replay. Oh, just perfect. And Huberdeau does the perfect, just nothing too fancy. Blocker side. See, Gunnar Stahl? He would have gone glove side. But Huberdeau's not fancy. Boom. Blocker side low, catches Kemper moving. Nice effing goal. Drags the glove against the ice because, yeah, baby. That was sick. What a goal. 2 goals in 36 seconds for the Calgary Flames. Can they make it 3 goals in a minute? Reverse jinx with the Arthur meme, Hayden says. Oh, baby. Man, I said don't allow a goal within 20 seconds of scoring one. I guess I at least reverse jinxed that too. The Kings did it, not the Flames. Oh, boy. What? See, we got the game broken open. 20 shots for the Calgary Flames, only 11 for the LA Kings. And Calgary, especially for the last 5 minutes, has looked super strong. Oh, we got to fight. We got to fight. Kirkland's going to go. And I think that had to do with Hellenius had, I think, a late hit on, I think, Sharon Govich. So Kirkland's making him pay for it. Hellenius is just much taller, I think. I'm going to look these guys up here. So Kirkland is 6'3". Costa Hellenius is, let's find out. Oh, he's shorter. Why did he look bigger? Maybe he's just bigger. Damn. You know what? Good little fight there. Good little tilt. Love it for the boys and the ladies. I think, you know what? I think you got to have, if you're the Flames, you can't let that. Oh, yeah. You can't do that to Zeri. I'm surprised there was no call on that. Yeah, you have to do that. You have to kind of, that's what Kirkland's there for. Other than, having the best nickname in hockey, which is Costco. Good fight. They're talking to each other now. I wonder what they're saying. I don't know what they're saying to each other. Oh, it's Samuel Hellenius. Jeez, dummy. So hold on. Hellenius is, you know what I love about this? Okay, Hayden, here, do me a favor. This is so funny. Google Samuel Hellenius. And the first picture that comes up, I want you to put that picture on screen as soon as you can. Okay? Just Google Samuel Hellenius. And by the way, that's why Hellenius looked huge. The cost of Hellenius 11. Samuel Hellenius is 6'6". Duh. Of course he's bigger than Kirkland. I'm like, man, he looks so much bigger. This is his second career game already with a nice little tussle. And by the way, let me know when it's up on the screen. Can you put it up? Samuel Hellenius has just the sickest picture. He's gonna Hayden's gonna pull this in case you're too lazy to Google it. That's so sick. Oh man. Dylan Strome is signed to a 5x5. He's on pace for 132 points. Listen, if you haven't picked up Dylan Strome and Connor McMichael off waivers on your fantasy league, I don't know what to tell you. Absolute wagon, those two. "90 years old. This is what sound. Samuel Hellenius sounds like a Renaissance painter's name. Yeah, it does. It does. Hayden, let me know when that picture's up. Oh, it's up now? How about that black eye, huh? That's the man's picture on Google. Can you believe? Oh my God, that's actually so perfect. I'm assuming that's from preseason. Anyway, I just think that's funny. He also, He was drafted in 2021, 59th overall. He's a big boy, 91 kilograms. That's a big boy. Love that. Good tilt. Good picture. That picture lives forever. And a good save by Dustin Wolf. Oh, and it's getting spicy. Now the Flames are taking a little bit of exception to Lapierre taking the extra swing at Dustin Wolf there. Flames have played a good little defensive game. I feel strong about how they've played. Are the Calgary Flames about to go back on another little streak here? Maybe it's a bit early, but I like the way they look tonight. I like it a lot. I think they look strong. What do we say in chat? Kings lead the league in fighting majors with 9 now. Nashville and Jersey are tied with second for 8. Are the Kings losing because Tanner Jeannot is out? Love from Australia. Well, I'll tell you this. If Tanner Jeannot was playing, I bet Hellenius would not have been playing. Yeah, I don't know. Doug Leafan, what's up, Adam? Did you do a Peter Puck deep dive? No, sir, I did not. I have not had the chance, but I do need to do that. David Owens from Kingston, Ontario, gifted 10 SDPN memberships. David, thank you, my friend. I got to do the Peter Puck thing. I promise you I will do the Peter Puck deep dive. Maybe next Monday we all have like a Peter Puck powwow. We talk about Peter Puck. By the way, for all the new members of VIP today, yeah, all the episodes are available. So if you want to go back and listen to all of the STP VIP episodes, you can. Check it out, and consider re-upping your membership as it helps a small business like ours. We got a real game here. This is exciting. By the way, somebody tweeted me something. I thought you guys would find it funny. So the Flames play in PPG Paints Arena. Pens fans are now... Sorry, the Flames play at PPGs. The Pens play at PPG Paints Arena. They're now calling it PPG Paint Arena. Is everyone going to Shoeless Joe's? Hell yeah, Natalie. Hell yeah, we are. Shoeless Joe's, baby. Tomorrow night. Are you guys coming? It's downtown. We're going to have some fun. Leafs and Sens, baby. We're going to do a live show, which I love doing. I love the live shows. And then, by the way, tickets are like $10. Super cheap. And the food's delish. And I think we're going to have a good time, and we're going to go watch the Leafs and the Sens. And now the Leafs better not do the Leaf thing, which is we're playing the Senators. We're going to let them kick our ass. That'd be really cool if the Leafs didn't do that tomorrow night. Adam, how's Jesse doing these days? How is Jesse doing these days? Are we talking about the Connor Hellebuck stuff? Connor Hellebuck being the best goalie in the league? Listen, man, who's been saying it? This guy. See, Jesse gets all the shit for being a non-believer of the Winnipeg Jets. I get none of the credit for saying Connor Hellebuck rules and is the greatest, and he's overlooked. None. Zero. Jets fans, where you at? Where you at? Where are you coming to my defense here? Doug Leafan, did Steve give you the 2000 All-Star program? What? Did you give Steve a 2000 All-Star game program? Whoa. Sexy Jari. SDPN crew ever going to come to the States? Would love to meet everyone. So weirdly enough, speaking of Pittsburgh, I was trying to sort something out last season with the Penguins. And we never got that far, to be honest. But they did a whole change of their front office. A lot of the people that we knew who were working there were all let go at the end of the season because Fenway Sports and Entertainment just made a bunch of changes. It was really unfortunate because a lot of really good people in the business side were let go. And so my contacts there dried up. So I wanted to do Flames. I think what would make sense for us is we would go to like a Buffalo, a Detroit, a New York, New York State. So anywhere like Jersey, Islanders. We tried to work something with UBS. Still would like to do something with them. That's where the Islanders play. It really comes down to budget, right? It's expensive, and so it would be real nice. Y'all think Kyle is going to let us in that state, Adam? Well, I know, right? Being from Windsor area, it's funny to hear we are too bad we're done. We would, Kevin. I think we would do Windsor, Detroit. I think that's probably the first place we would do. And I say Windsor, Detroit because Windsor and Detroit are inextricably linked. I would love to do. Want to do a full tour. Like I want to go to every NHL city. I want to do live shows. And I know we have audiences everywhere, but the reality is we don't have some mega corporation backing us. Like, Chicklets has Barstool and they're in a multi-100 million. What was it? What do they sell for? $500 million, something like that. Like, yeah. And Sportsnet and TSN are owned by multi-billion dollar companies, and Amazon is a $1 trillion company at this point? Like, we're the small guys on the block. So we're definitely gonna figure out how to do it. We just haven't figured it out yet. And I think part of that is just time. We got good audiences, man. You guys are you have to understand, like, for the size of what we are, the audiences, because of you, we're able to do things that other shows on bigger companies that have, bigger budgets can't do. They can't do what we do. They can't. And it's really sick that we get the chance to do it. And it's all because of how devoted you guys are. And it's not that we're trying to ignore other markets. It's like literally, how do we economically make it work? How do we pay for the flights? How do we get the equipment down there? Can we find a bar or a venue or a company that believes in us enough to pay us to cover the expenses? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it comes down to. So, I'd like to do it. We got to figure it out. Haven't fully figured it out yet. STPN, come to Vancouver, start small. Man, it would be easier for us to go to Florida than go to Vancouver. Canada has these laws that only Canadian air carriers can fly you within Canada, which makes the flights outrageously expensive. So Canadians never vacation in Canada. We never see our country because it's $1,000 to get from one side of it to the other, which is insane. So, Amazon is worth $2.17 trillion. Is that real? Dude, wow. Doug Leafin. Jesse got the 1667 jersey. Steve got an autographed hat. And I sent you a autograph program. Steve said you were at. Drew got a Kadri signed pick. You know what, Doug? I will talk to Steve about it. He probably just forgot. And I will blame that on he still has a 6-month-old at home. And he's trying to sell his book. And it's going really well. It's going really well. J Rules 19. Thoughts on Jonathan Toews' career now that he does not have a contract? Well, I think Jonathan's probably retirement, right? I think Jonathan Toews is one of the best two-way centers of all time. I think the proof is not just in the regular season. Obviously, he's got the 3 cups. It's how they won the cup. It's the factor that when he was at his best with those Chicago teams, the guy was just a monster. And I've met him and I've interviewed him. He was doing some sort of integration with Canadian Tire, and he went into Breakfast Television where I was working at the time. Really nice guy. Really nice guy. Yeah, I think that's a Hall of Famer game, set, match. Whenever he officially retires. Has he officially retired? I would have thought the Chicago Blackhawks would do something for him. I would have liked to have seen him, if he was going to come back, play in Winnipeg. Because he's from there. It would have been kind of neat to see him end his career there. But, I mean, the Jets are the best team in the National Hockey League right now. So, I don't think they... but, dude, yeah. Yeah, really great player. That's my thoughts on him. I think he's in... Hall of Famer. Go to Orlando and see a Solar Bears game. Yeah, I would love that. I would love to do that. We're gonna do it, man. We are gonna do it. Just give us time, because like this is why we have SDP VIP. This is why we're doing all these live shows. Is like I don't think people understand, and that means advertisers. I don't think they understand how intense you guys are. They don't understand how active this community is. Like it just doesn't, like in the States, it exists everywhere. There are YouTubers and podcasters with active, incredible communities. In Canada, it's just not as in mainstream media in Canada, and we're not mainstream, I guess. It's just not as common. There just aren't as many people here, and it's harder to make a living here in this field. And I got to tell you, man, you guys open a lot of doors, and I think there's ways that we want to pay you back. The live shows are the best way we can do it right now. That makes sense. But like, I would love one day. Here's a dream of mine. You ready? Let's pretend that we're making a bazillion jillion dollars. You know what I'd like to do? And I don't understand why companies don't do this. I'd love to have a set of season tickets in every Canadian city and give them away every game. So an SDP listener is at every Canadian game, every home game of the year. Wouldn't that be the sickest? I would have like a department, just who are we giving the tickets to? To this every freaking game. Can you imagine? That would be an outrageously expensive thing to do. But wouldn't that be cool? I would love to do an international tour. I want to go see games in Finland and document it, and do games in Switzerland, games in Sweden. When the political situation is less intense, I would love to see a game in Russia. I'd love to go to St. Petersburg, the history. Apparently, it's a beautiful city. I'd love to go see a game in the Czech Republic, in Czechia. I'd love to go see an Italian Super League game. I'd love to go see a French game. I want to go see British game. Like, wouldn't that be sick? Like, that's what I want to do, man. I want to be able to do this, and it would be sick to be able to be like, all right, we're doing a plane ride over, and 20 SDP listeners are coming to England for a game, and we're gonna go watch Nottingham take on Birmingham, and we're gonna talk to Tony Hand. Wouldn't that be sick? That's what I want to do. You should come to Tampa when Smokes was. You should have come to Tampa when Smokes was in the arena. Yo, I was at Tampa when Smokes was in the arena. Tampa's got a great place. Tampa's got a great arena. I love that, and I love going for a little drink at the Tiki Bar before the game. SDPN needs to come to Australia for the preseason. Hey, Adam, you could go to St. Petersburg in Florida. I could, because it's Tampa St. Pete's, baby. It's just one half of the same thing. Would be amazing. Yeah, I would love to. I honestly, there's so much that we want to do. We just need to introduce more people to the product, right? If you have friends that love hockey, I would love it if you shared some good Steve videos with them, or some good CJ videos with them, or whatever. Get them on the streams, get them to be a part of Gripper Nation, whatever it is. And I think long term, we keep doing this, we're going to chip away at it. We're already doing stuff now that I never thought we'd be able to do. I am streaming from a building in Toronto that is SDPN's headquarters. How cool is that, right? That's just the beginning. We got a lot of work to do, and we're going to work hard for you. I promise you that. But man, there's nothing that I want to do more than crazy shit that no one else is doing. And I think we can. I think we totally can. Thoughts on an NHL team in Hamilton from Bustin Dufflin. That's a good name. Not going to happen. Not going to happen for at least the foreseeable future. And the reason I say that is Cops is getting Cops Coliseum, which was built to attract an NHL team in the 80s, is finally getting renovated. And it's unfortunately owned by the city, I believe, which is a lot of bureaucracy. But Oakview Group is in there, which is the group that's building all the arenas these days. And they're high-class, outstanding professionals. Like, they're really good. They're run and owned partially by the Leiwekis, like Tim Leiweke, former head of the former head of the Lakers, former head of the Leafs. But the reality is Toronto's got a lockdown on Southern Ontario. And as much as it would make sense to put another team in Southern Ontario, and Southern Ontario could probably support it, the NHL looks at the Leafs as a gigantic cash cow. Why would you mess with Toronto Maple Leaf territory and potentially have the Leafs make less money on its and lose that money to a team in Hamilton that will probably not make money for the first 5 years. The asset value will go up, but year over year, they're not going to make money year over year in the first 5 years. And there's nothing wrong with that as a business, right? You just got to get established in the community, get sponsors on board, blah, 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 blah. Why would you take away from the NHL's most valuable franchise? Gary Bettman speculated, and I actually agree with him, that the Leafs on their own, if Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment said, we don't want the Leafs anymore, we want to sell them, the Leafs alone would be worth something like $4 to $5 billion on the open market, right? Their asset value maybe isn't valued at that, but when you're purchasing something on the open market, like a business like the Leafs are, then you're basically buying some years of profit as well. Why would the NHL mess with that? It's their most valuable piece of real estate. That's why a team in Hamilton is not going to happen. Doesn't mean it shouldn't, just means it won't. Let's do a quick break here. Hey, Hayden, can you tell me what we're going to talk about? What kind of clip we're going to do here? Why do the Habs suck? Yeah, baby. Let's do a little clip from today's show on why the Habs are bad. Because they're bad. When it comes to Montreal, another fan group who are known for being some of the best fans in the world.
Yes.
I saw legitimate tweets this weekend with people going, hey, I don't remember Dom Ducharme being this bad. At least he had a system. And guys,
the whispers about St. Louis are getting loud.
And let's just call it what it is. When he was hired, everybody was like, but he has no experience at any level. At any level. Yeah, but he played in the show. At any level.
The stuff about him working with Cole Caulfield and making Caulfield better, I love that. That's an assistant coach.
That's a performance coach.
It's a performance
That's
coach.
not an assistant coach. Assistant coach has systems.
I know. I don't have a problem with St. Louis being in the Habs organization. Head coach, I'm not sure, bro.
And the thing was, when he took over, Dom Ducharme was coming off of a different, you got to remember, they came off of a Stanley Cup appearance. And then instantly the next year they were bad. And people were like, well, wait a second, it must be the head coach. And then the objectives of the situation changed very, very quickly. Bergevin's gone by Christmas, so Dom Ducharme's guy is gone. The new crew comes in, and the vibes are terrible. You're scratching a guy like Cole Caulfield, which honestly
was horrible.
Horrible idea. And at that point, you're still like, you've signed Hoffman. You have Dvorak. You have these guys that you expect to do well for you. Josh Anderson still in that contract. This is 3 years ago. And what does Marty St. Louis come in and do? He comes in and does what Sheldon did when Sheldon Keefe came in. Sheldon Keefe came in and was like, hey, guys, let's just focus on vibes.
Let's all feel good about ourselves.
Yeah, we should start there. Caulfield starts scoring. Suzuki looks better. Look at that. It's amazing.
He's done some good things.
The problem is, last year you go through it and you go, well, the mistakes, they don't matter as much. We expect to be bad, whatever.
Guys are hurt.
And Nick Suzuki comes in and says, before the start of the year this year, I'm looking forward to the mistakes mattering, which I think is a really important microcosm of what's happened.
If you're trying to make the playoffs, they matter now.
Well, they're not trying to make the playoffs though.
Sure they are. Sure they are.
They can't be.
Sure that this is what I was fighting
surely
against.
You can't be. You got to be kidding me.
This is what I was
this
fighting
roster
against.
could ever have made the playoffs.
Absolutely, they could.
Absolutely not.
They could have
No way.
competed
No way.
for
And
it, for God's sake.
Okay, they could not have competed for it. They were never that good. That was all media hype from the get-go. I got a bunch of shit from Habs fans earlier this season, before the season started.
Well, because I said they need to take a step,
and you
were like, bullshit.
And then I said, listen, they've got this guy, they got this guy, they're improved, whatever. And people were like, you left out Kirby Dach. You mean Kirby Dach, who's got 5 points in 14 games, that Kirby Dach? Why does he have that? Is it because he's a bad player? No, it's because he missed most of last year with an injury, and it takes a fucking minute.
Yeah.
And you also, when you realize, oh man, okay, the mistakes matter now. Our fans expect us to win.
Yeah.
The media expects us to win. You need to have a guy who has a solution for that. And I'm not sure that they do. And it's not just Marty St. Louis. It's his coaching staff, and it's
The defensive personnel are awful.
And by the way, do you not think some of those mistakes that they had last year were covered by a very good goalie in Jake Allen, who is no longer there? Jake Allen is a much better goalie than people give him credit for.
The last we saw Montembeault, he made a 47 save shutout. His season since night one has been horrendous.
It's amazing how the Leafs, they changed the way they play and stopped making bad goalies look good. And he's not a bad goalie long term.
No, the shots. Okay, let's look at the goals the Leafs got. Did Montembeault get the slightest bit of help on any of them?
Mm-hmm.
No. The defense aren't helping the forwards. The forwards aren't helping the defense. A lot of people are goofing on Lane Hudson and his defensive ability and all that. And the Nylander goal, he got turnstiled and everything. He's a rookie.
He's a rookie. That happens.
It's a rookie. And you got to insulate him with what exactly?
David Savard.
David Savard.
Who won't go Domi, who he's way bigger than.
Matheson was, it's similar to the conversation. I mean, maybe not totally similar, but with Matthews, I keep saying, what's the expectation here? That he scores 69 again? No, you got to have a contingency for if he gets less than that. Matheson, how many points did he have last year?
A lot.
Or over the last couple? Okay, so what if he doesn't pull that off again? The personnel back there is brutal. Kent Hughes has done a really good job. You gotta fix that, dude.
And I think, it's been interesting because, Suzuki is a good centerman.
Of course.
But what do you have after him? You've got Evans, you've got Dvorak, and as of today, you've got Kandata. And I look at this and I go, okay, so the rest of the lineup, you don't even have Caulfield playing with Suzuki. Man. Wow. The puns are outrageous today.
Caulfield. Wow.
You have Doc playing with Suzuki and Slavkovsky. You got Caulfield, Evans, Newhook. Newhook, who, by the way, was traded to Montreal to be their second-line center behind. And then Doc, who was traded to Montreal to be their second or third-line center behind Nick Suzuki. Neither of those guys today are playing center. And then you got Christian Dvorak and Gallagher and Anderson. And by the way, Gallagher and Anderson are part of the furniture at this point. Gallagher is a heart and soul guy. He's a Montreal Canadiens.
Gallagher's got 7 goals.
I know. Anderson is an untradeable deal.
Yep. Unfortunately.
And unless you're retaining.
Dude, not Anderson, sorry. There's 3 players who are -10 or worse on the Habs who have played 15 games.
Insane. That's insane.
Newhook, 4 goals, 0 assists, -10 in 15 games. So these guys have played every game.
How many points does he have?
4.
Oh my God.
Joel Armia, who has some points, 2 goals, 4 assists, 6 points in 15
It's about
games.
what you can expect from him.
-11. And Kirby Doc in 15 games, 1 goal, 4 assists, 5 points, -14.
Yes, and I give him a pass because he missed most of last year. This team, so I did a little deep dive quickly.
Oh, boy.
Team is currently last place in the NHL. That's right, behind the Ducks, who are somehow worse this year than they were last year, and the San Jose Sharks, who got Macklin
And
back.
Lucas Dostal is playing absolutely out of his
they had a good win
frigging
last
mind.
night. The
Yeah.
Ducks had a good win last night over Columbus.
Yeah, he is playing. They have one of the best goalies in the NHL straight up.
Yeah.
In Lucas Dostal.
And so I looked into this and I thought, okay, this has got to be, what is this? So here's what it is. It's interesting because you'd think it would be special teams. But currently the Habs are 15th in PK percentage, which is really good
That's fine.
for a team like that.
Middle of the pack.
13th in power play percentage.
Above middle of the pack.
But they're allowing 4.13 goals per game. And their shot differential, and this is where it's a 5-on-5 issue, their shot differential is tied with San Jose and Anaheim. And what do you think it might be?
In 15 games, -75.
-103.
Gee.
It's a lot.
This team,
Goodness gracious.
this team has got to figure out, you look at the Habs even as a developing team, and I go, what are you?
And well,
What are you aspiring to be? Are you a fast-paced, high-opportunity team? Are you a grind them out, slug them out team? Clearly not. You're soft as baby shit.
well, they're not good enough to do anything right now. And this is the
But you have to have a goal to aspire to be. So what do you at least want to be?
Arbor Jacki, I think we can agree is top 5 toughest guys in the NHL. He's
He's not playable on any team that's going to win.
This is the thing. Like, I feel like part of the reason he's not fighting, one, I mean, people probably don't want to. Two, they probably want him on the ice. Three, he can't prove how good he is to the team, and he can't be in the lineup every night unless he proves how good of a defenseman he is, and he can't do that from the box. Most teams, I feel like, don't really want their defensemen fighting on account of there's only 6
I
of
think
them.
he's going to be a forward at some point.
Yeah, and I don't think it'd be the worst deal, but like we've had the conversation with the Leafs where, okay, we're tough now because we got Wayne Simmons. No, you're the Leafs, and you have a guy who is tough. Same with Kyle Clifford, same with Ryan Reeves, same with Matt Martin, same with blah, blah, blah. Now we're looking at them and we're like, hey, you kind of, like, you have toughness throughout the lineup. That's great. I kind of look at the Habs and wonder about the same thing.
Hey, so Matvey Michkov apparently punched Macklin Celebrini at the end of regulation. That's a battle of who's going to win the Calder. Just looking around the NHL, let's look at the scores here because I think we should do that. So currently, right now, Colorado's up on Nashville. Vegas is down 1-0 to the surprise, I think, Carolina Hurricanes. I say surprise, and maybe we shouldn't be, but they're a lot better than I think anybody gave them credit for. Me in particular. Montreal 7-5 victory over Buffalo today. If you're the Canadiens, second half. Well, is it second half of back-to-back? Not technically, but there's a day in between, I guess. That has to feel good for Montreal. Buffalo is a better test than I think Toronto is because they're a little bit closer to what Montreal is, and good for them for getting that. I don't think Marty St. Louis will love that they gave up 5 goals, but they scored 7, so who cares? Yay, woo! The Philadelphia Flyers beat the San Jose Sharks in a shootout tonight. They did give up a 3-0 lead, but they were able to pull it out in the end. And of course, as you guys already know, the Dallas Stars hung 6 goals on the Pittsburgh Penguins. 6 goals in the first period, and they end up winning the game 7-1. Unfortunately, Dallas doesn't get the shutout there, but I don't think they care. Dude, the Pittsburgh Penguins. Oh, listen, sometimes you have a story in the NHL, and it shocks you and surprises you. And everybody could say that this year the Pittsburgh Penguins came in with good vibes. Okay, last year was bad, and we didn't love it and whatever. But hey, Crosby re-signed, and he's out there delivering season tickets to everybody. And wow, the vibes are great. It just didn't last. And I think there's a lot of people wondering, like, is Mike Sullivan the guy? And I think the reality is he has to be the guy for at least this season and potentially next two. So Mike Sullivan's a Boston guy. He's going to probably coach, I believe he's coaching the Four Nations Team USA roster. And he's making like $5.8 million a year. And I don't know if you know this about Fenway Sports Group. They don't love paying guys that aren't working for them, especially when they're making close to $6 million a year. So my bet on this one is that Mike Sullivan's the coach at least till the end of this season, but his contract goes into next year. I don't know what you do if you're the Pens. I don't know what you do. Apparently, Mason Marchment, according to David Owens, Mason Marchment had 1 goal and 4 assists tonight. Loving him on my fantasy team. Absolutely. Cutter Gauthier will win the Calder. I don't know about that. It does not look great. Anyone think that Patrick Laine will help pull Montreal out of this funk? That is from Bustin Dufflin. No. I think that's too much to put on the guy. The fact that he's skating right now, Steve said it on the show today, miracle. And I would also say that Laine needs a centerman to play with. Doc, before the season started, I was like, Montreal needs a second line center. People are like, Kirby Doc. He's not playing center. The guy just missed most of the year last year. Even if he can play center eventually, it's going to take him some time to get up to game speed, and he hasn't been great. Alex Newhook as a project that they got from Colorado, he's a body and he's okay, but he's not the second line center they were hoping him or Kirby Doc would turn into. I think Montreal has got to make a trade for a second line center, and I don't think it's Trevor Zegras. I think Trevor Zegras is man, his offense has disappeared in Anaheim. It's crazy. I don't think it's Trevor Zegras. I think it's going to be somebody else. They need some veteran help, and they need a guy with some legs. They need a guy with a little bit of speed to play with Line A. I want Line A to finally have like a great centerman to set him up. I want him to have that. He deserves that. He hasn't had it since Winnipeg, genuinely. And he had to like play center for a while in Columbus. What a mess. Mike McDonald, mustache is better than I thought it would look. Hey guys, listen, I got a Movember page. Should I drop it in the chat? Listen, here's my, I'll show you my Mo space. You guys ready? I got a Mo space. And I want to know, there it is. Dropped it in the chat. There it is. Please donate to my Movember page. It helps all sorts of men's mental health and physical health. And obviously it started, just with testicular health, but let's also talk about the mental health angle. As somebody who regularly attends therapy, that's near and dear to my heart. Max Horowitz, Laine to Florida, deadline pickup? No. I think the Montreal Canadiens are hanging on to Patrick Laine for the long term. If you can get Patrick Laine to 35, 40 goals again, that means you've got a 40-goal scorer in Cole Caulfield. And by the way, sky's the limit with him. He can score as many goals as you can set him up for. And Patrick Laine, so you have two guys on your team that could potentially score 35, 40 goals a year on your first two lines. You want to make the playoffs? It's a pretty good start. That's what you want. The Laine trade was a good trade. It's a really spectacular move by them. He needs a centerman, and he needs a legit center. Please don't give me a project. Give me a guy who's going to set him up and get 50 assists next year. That's who I want. Whoever that guy's going to be. If you're a Flames fan, you're like, well, Jonathan Huberdeau. You imagine Laine and Huberdeau linking up? The contract's too much. I know. He's not going to move. By the way, 18:07 left in the third period. Flames looked really, really, really good at the end of that second. Like, it was sort of a grappling match, and I'll be honest with you, parts of the game had been boring. But now, we got another rebound here. Connor Zary has looked really strong. The first line for Calgary looked strong. The second line looked strong. The fourth line looked really strong on a couple of shifts. I don't know. I like this. James Scaresbrook, Suzuki's not a 1C. Well, we'll see. We'll see how that happens. We'll see. Suzuki can't listen. I think Nick Suzuki's a lot better than other markets want to give him credit for. And being based out of Toronto, I can understand why Leaf fans want to give him shit. I don't know if we can make that determination yet. I mean, people used to say that about Austin Matthews. Yeah, but can he play defense? Well, he learned. He's one of the better two-way centermen in the NHL now. People don't give him any credit for it, but he is. I think Suzuki's got lots of runway. Guy's what, 24, 25 years old? I think he's going to be fine. And people are like, well, yeah, but is he a number one center on a Stanley Cup team? Well, I don't know, man, but he doesn't have to be on a Stanley Cup team right now. And didn't he have... he had 77 points last year. I don't know, 33 goals, 44 assists. I don't know. I think a lot of teams would be okay with those numbers as a first-line center. Sure. Is there parts of his game he needs to work on? Sure. I don't know. I like Nick Suzuki a lot more than the average guy. He's one of those guys. I'm like, that guy's sick. Straight up. I hate it because he doesn't play for my team, but he's sick. Here's Kuzmenko coming across. Nice to see Huberdeau get the goal that he got earlier in the game. That was a beautiful goal. There's a guy that you root for, right? I know he's a noted Alan Walsh client, so I'm obviously a little bit partial, but he's just such a good guy. If there's any Panthers fans in the chat, he's a legit, just good human being. One of those guys that on a human level you root for. Dustin Wolf's had a low-key, solid little game here. And he's got 15 minutes left. And let's see if he can close it out. I'm not going to say the word, but you know what I'm talking about. Flames also could use another goal here. One Kings goal, and they're right back in this game. You can't have that. You need a goal. You need to score a goal here in the next, I'd say, 5 minutes. Let's get another goal here before the 10-minute mark, before the LA Kings really start to turn it on, because they will. Is that Adam or Tom Selleck? Well, it's definitely Adam right now. It's not filled in. Adam, go Argos. Hey, man, I'm thrilled that they're in the finals. I'm not a big CFL watcher, but for anybody that is, I would never want to yuck your yum. I think that's awesome. And I always root for a Toronto team. So listen, I think they're the most recent Toronto team to win a championship, aren't they? So I'm always rooting for them. But the CFL is just on my list of priorities. It's just not high on it, and it's not because I have something against CFL football. It's solid football. It's great football. I don't have time. I watch NFL. My mom's from Pittsburgh, so I'm partial to the NFL, and I watch Formula One and I watch hockey. Those are my sports. I'll watch baseball in the summer too. Love the Blue Jays when they're good. They're bad, but we'll watch less of them when they're bad, especially when like bad this year. Did anyone see the promo Sportsnet did for November? I did not see that. Huberdeau, fun fact. This is Jay Money. What's up, Jay Money? Was drafted 5th overall in the KHL draft, highest Canadian ever drafted. Oh, that's cool. Adam, how would the Predators now? Well, Marc-Andre, they won't. They've committed to one direction, and that's the direction they're going, which is we're old and we're going to try for the next 2 to 3 years, and that's it. I think Barry Trotz just got on the radio and said that because he's trying to get at the pride of his players. Like this is, if you have a GM, in this case, a president who's a legend in Nashville and a legend around the NHL, like Barry Trotz is going to the Hall of Fame, you're embarrassed if they say, "Oh, what a save by Wolf! What a save, guy sharp tonight." If you have a president saying that and you're on that team, you're embarrassed. You're embarrassed. There's no way around it. You're totally embarrassed, and that sucks, and you hate it. And at the same time, you also know in the back of your mind that they can't. They just signed Shea and Marchessault and Stamkos. I guess they could trade them for a ton of assets, but like, come on. Hayden says they have 3 first-round picks already in this upcoming draft. And 2 seconds. I think the Barry Trotz comments would be a lot more believable if Askarov was still playing for them. I just don't believe it. I think he knows that's a good team in there, and he's trying to get them going. Predators have 11 million in cap space coming off the books, even more to spend. They'll be just fine. Yeah, and like most teams have 10 or 11 million coming off. When the cap goes up $5 million a year, which is what it's been, it's like 4.5. Most teams are going to have between 5 and 10 million at least. It's the teams with 20 million, 25 million that you need to watch out for. They are going to go on a spree. Aiden, what were you going to say to me? Minnesota's got, what is it, 25 million next year? Yeah, so the big buyout contracts come off Minnesota. Watch for the Wylde to be gigantic spenders. And by the way, they're already a really good team, but they got to put a little money aside for that Kaprizov deal, and they also have to show Kaprizov we're here to win a cup. We're not here to be a first round and out team, which unfortunately for them they have been for most of their franchise. Oh, big save on Pospisil there. Flames still looking good here, although LA is pouring on the heat. And this is what's going to happen. LA pouring on the heat. You get it? What's going to happen here is LA is going to try to get a goal, and they might get one here. No. Fiala making plays in that zone. He's so good. Fiala, former Minnesota Wild. They're going to try to make some plays here, get a goal, and then they're right back in this game. Assuming that the Flames can't score, I think this game is very likely 2-1 going in the last 5 minutes. That's what I think is going to happen here. Hey, Hayden, James is asking in the chat, what's the deepest the Wild have ever gone in the playoffs? I think it's second round, isn't it? They went to the conference finals once, according to Hayden. Oh, really? It's a long time ago. It's Minnesota Wild. Let's look up their hockey DB and find out. Minnesota Wild hockey DB. You know, I still can't spell Minnesota properly. It's one of those, those words that you're like, I don't know why, but I can't spell it properly. Oh, they've never made the conference. Yeah. 2002, 2003, they lost in the third round. Since then, they have been to the second round one time. Twice, actually, sorry. And that was 13-14 and 14-15. I got to tell you guys, the Minnesota Wild and the Toronto Maple Leafs, what's the difference? Except the difference is that they have very different caps. Yeah. Yeah, the Wild need to be more than a one and done team. But I like what they are. I've always liked their system. I like what Bill Guerin does. Is that further than the Coyotes and Thrashers? Way further than the Thrashers. The Thrashers never... I don't even think the Thrashers in their entire organizational existence won a playoff game. I'm pretty sure the Thrashers never won a playoff game. Thrashers hockey DB. I'm just looking it up. Yeah, I don't think they won a game in that series. I think they lost in that round. Hayden, if you can check that for me. So yeah, the Thrashers made the playoff one time in the 11 or 12 years that they were a team, and they got swept by the Rangers. Yeah, so they never won a game. The Arizona Coyotes got to the conference finals at least once, if not twice. I think they got to the conference finals in 2012, wasn't it? I think it was the 2012 season. And I think they rode Mike Smith all the way to the search by team. Arizona Coyotes DB. So, yeah, third round, 2011, 2012. And then they proceeded to follow that up with 7 straight years out of the playoffs. Jeez. And they only made the playoffs one more time in 1920, and they lost in the first round. Boy. By the way, so Hayden just passed this along to me. The Thrashers, in their only playoff appearance, were outscored 17-6 over the course of that series. So that was, man, somebody's got to do like a documentary on how terribly run that Thrashers organization was. Like, anybody that tells you that hockey can't work in Atlanta is nuts, because it worked. Like, the fact that they were able to keep a team there for 12 years and be as bad as they were is a miracle. Absolute miracle. That when Atlanta gets a team back, and they will, it's going to be a really good market. It's going to be a real good market. Is Sexy Jari. Adam, is it panic time in Detroit yet? Stevie is a good GM, but he hasn't been great for us. Lalonde might be the most boring coach in the league. I would shake it up. So Stevie was a great GM for the Lightning. I think he's been okay with Detroit. Oh, Zeri with a nice little play there. Flames doing some work off the rush here. I like that. To answer your question, here's Akil Thomas. Dumps the puck in. Rasmus Anderson retrieves. I would say that Stevie is perplexing to me. I think that some of the draft picks have not worked out the way that they wanted them to. Ideally, you have that 6th overall pick. If you could redo that, obviously Zadina's not your guy. I didn't understand the Justin Hall contract. I didn't understand the JT Comfort contract. I didn't understand dropping Jake Wallman for next to nothing. So you could go out and do what? Like, did you really need to keep Oli Mata when you were able to trade him pretty quickly into this season? Like, there's just stuff that happens where I'm like, what? They seem to have the goaltending sorted out. And no matter where Alex Lyon goes, he wins games. I don't know. He's one of those goalies that nobody takes seriously, and yet wherever he goes, he wins a lot of games. People forget the first time the Panthers got to the playoffs, it was got to the playoffs and went to the Stanley Cup Finals. They got to the playoffs because of Alex Lyon, not Bobrovsky. So yeah, I would say the goaltending's better. their defense stinks though. Sider's so good, but like you've tethered some bad deals on that. Justin Hall is an all-time great human being. I think he's barely above replacement player level as a defenseman in the league, and I think that his stats in Toronto were boosted by the fact that he was playing minutes he shouldn't have been playing with Jake Muzzin, and the scoring. He won a lot of his minutes 5-on-5 because Toronto won a lot of its minutes 5-on-5, but I don't think that he drove that. I think he was given credit for a lot of things, perhaps that and they were like, "Oh, he's this great penalty killer." I don't know. To me, Justin Hall was a guy that a lot of things were justified in Toronto. And I think afterwards you go, like, you look at some of these guys that have left and you're like, oh, they're just not that good. They're good, but they're not like the guy that they were built up to be in Toronto by certain members of the Leafs community. So to answer your question about Detroit, I wouldn't say it's panic time yet, but I think it's decision time soon with Lalonde. And what are they? Like, what's their identity? Are they a high scoring team? Are they a bruising team? Are they, when you play Detroit, what do you need to look out for? Like, when you play the Leafs, you got to look out for goal scoring, right? Obvious. And now a little bit more toughness, and now a little bit good. The goaltending's looking good. When you play the Boston Bruins, anytime over the last 15 years, what are you going to look out for? Well, you had Bergeron, you had Chara for a good chunk of that. What did Bergeron and Chara and Marchand and Lucic and all these guys and Johnny Boychuk back in the day? What are they? They were tough as nails and they were shitty and you hated playing them. They were a really good team, but they were tough. Penguins, what'd you have to look out for? Gino and Sid. Ugh. And Matt Murray when he was good, and Tristan Jarry when he was good, and Marc-Andre Fleury before all that. What I struggle with the Red Wings is, what is the core identity? What are we going for here? Like, you look at the best team in the league right now. What do you got to look out for with the Jets? They're tough, and they're mean, and they're big. Oh, and they have one of the best goalies, if not the best goalie in the league. And they have probably the best goal scorer in the league right now, Kyle Connor. Like, the identity is what Detroit lacks for me. But maybe they find it this year. That's what I would say. Ken Holland butchered the start of the rebuild, and Yzerman is way safe with his picks. Outside of Seider and Dimitri, we have no superstars. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what Detroit wants to do. I know that their ownership group is a little bit fed up with not making the playoffs. They want to be in the playoffs. They've got this gorgeous arena that's no longer brand new. It's like almost a decade old, and they haven't played a playoff game in it. And it's considered the best arena in the league, Little Caesars, man. I think they want to see a playoff game there. I don't blame them. They made that huge investment. Detroit also never got a first overall pick. That's true. But Detroit never fully bottomed out either. Should have bought. If you're going to do it. Commit to it. Leafs got lucky. But they all, like, before the Leafs got Matthews and bottomed out, they'd already gotten Nylander at 8 and Marner at 4. You needed a little bit. You don't want to bottom out first. It'd be ideal, also, I guess you don't want to be the Leafs. Don't pick the Leafs. But, like, as far as rebuilds go, the Leafs was relatively short. Yeah. I don't know. That's just how I feel about Detroit. I just wonder what they are. What scares you about the Red Wings? Garrett Digenus says their arena is not the best in the league. Well, I keep hearing it's amazing. Boston Oppenhall doesn't help things. Way too early in the rebuild to sign those guys. Yeah, I think the reason that they signed those guys, though, is management said to them, we're done with this rebuild. You need to now, like Steve Yzerman has a boss. And I think Steve Yzerman's boss said, we need to be in playoff games now, Stevie. We can't wait. And I think that's why the Comfer, the Hall, the Kopp, the Tarasenko, the Patrick Kane, all those deals are getting done because they got to augment somehow. And the Red Wings are, I'll be honest with you, the Ryan Whitney, there was a clip of him that went viral last year, and he said, because I think the Red Wings had a really hot start last October, and he said it, and he's right. The league is better when the Red Wings are good. They are. It's just a more fun league when the Red Wings are good. Little Caesar is pissed too. Detroit could have had first overall type value with Quinn Hughes, but they fumbled that. Yeah, man. Well, you got Maurice Sider. I think you'll be all right. That's a guy who should have probably gone first overall. Like I mean, I know he probably wouldn't have in that draft, but dude, Maurice Sider is like he's such a monster. Just give him some better guys to play with. As a GM, it took Sakic 5 years for the Avs to win a cup. This is Yzerman's 5th year. If he doesn't win now, Yzerplan is a failure. Well, what does that say about the Shanaplan? I think that the difference between Sakic and Yzerman is that Sakic had Nathan McKinnon, and he had Mikko Rantanen, and he had Gabe Landeskog. I think all of those guys, like it's Dylan Larkin and Lucas Raymond's very good, but would you say Lucas Raymond is would you say as good as Nathan McKinnon? No. Would you say Lucas Raymond is going to be as good as Mikko Rantanen? I think that might be, I mean, that's ideal if it happens, but I don't think we know that yet. Like Sakic had some unbelievable high-end talent. And, well earned. They drafted well. Six minutes left in this game. Again, another low event game. What is it with Monday Night, Gripper Nation? And we got a penalty, and I think LA is going to go on the. Did LA just take a penalty, or is that offside? LA has not had a power play this game. That's how low event this has been. This is how not Calgary LA this game has been. Calgary LA up until a couple years ago was a cannot miss game. They hated each other. But there's been a lot of transition of guys out, and Drew Doughty's not playing, and there's no you know what I mean? There's no anger. Next Monday, we might get McDavid. I'm excited about that. Oilers game. Calgary's doing a really good job of, LA's getting into the zone, but Calgary's just doing a good job of going, no, we'll take that. Turning it around. Puck's out of the zone. 5:39 left in the game. James says, what's to be scared of with Detroit? Octopuses are scary. Yeah, they are. They are. Hey, I just have always shocked that people sneak those in. How do you sneak it in? Do you have a plastic bag in your pants? And how do they not smell that? It must smell, right? Are you any Wings fans who have done this? Oilers roasted the Canucks last Saturday. It really made my night. Yeah. Honestly, I'm telling you, the Oilers, they're such bad October team and such a good every other month team. They'll be fine. They'll be fine. They're too damn good. Although, apparently, I heard a crazy stat today, and I'm going to mess this up. But Darnell Nurse has been on the penalty kill for something like 81% of the Oilers' goals against or something on the penalty kill. He's been on the ice for 50% of all penalty kill time for the Edmonton Oilers. He's been on the ice for 81% of the goals against. That's the stat. That's a bonkers stat. They do need to add on defense. I'm actually shocked Timothy Liljegren is not an Edmonton Oiler. I really am shocked. James, how do the Leafs have 9 back-to-backs in the first 3 months? Listen, you're going to get 18. There was 1 year where they had 18 of them. You're going to get between 14 and 18 of them a year. So just accept it. Stop complaining about what makes me mad is when people make excuses for the Leafs when they play like crap. Like, I can understand losing a closely fought back-to-back game, but these guys are in incredible shape. They're in their early 20s. Like, I mean, that's the job, man. Do you have parts of your job that are hard? Yeah. That's the job, man. Do the job. But the Leafs are better on back-to-backs this year. I love the way that Berube's having them play. Is there any update on the Joe Louis Arena octopus on Facebook? That's a good question. The guy was selling it for like $30,000. I wonder. Hayden actually looked it up, Will, and he says he can't find anything about the sale. Hopefully the Joe Louis Arena octopus is well taken care of in somebody's big garage in Ann Arbor, and I hope everybody's just enjoying it. Max says, Nurse ain't the guy. He's just Sarah's brother. Hey, Sarah Nurse scored in the rivalry series the other night. Good goal, too. Nice little in front of the net. All right, guys, this game's going to start to get really exciting here, I think. 5 minutes left. The Flames have not gotten the goal that we said that they probably need to get. So the question now becomes, I thought the Kings would have probably scored by now. They haven't. Let's see what happens here. Reverse says, Phillips selling my parlay right now. Yo, Reverse, tell us what your parlay is. I'd love to know. Robert Malloy, the wave. Is somebody, yeah, Sarah is his cousin, by the way. Sarah Nurse is his cousin. Robert Malloy, are you seeing, there is a wave going on in Calgary. Hey, I am pro-wave. Anybody who's anti-wave, grow up. Let people have some fun. Wah, you don't like the wave. I'm talking to you, Steve Dangle. Wah. Cry about it. The wave rules. Let people get up out of their seats. Boston Dufflin. Will the Flames make the playoffs? We were talking about that in the first period a little bit. I think that they are. I think that if they continue, yeah, I think that if you look at, I'll dig this up again very quickly. But if you look at how teams are playing, and assuming that teams play the same way that they're playing, I think points percentage wise, there's no reason why the Flames can't get in, especially with the Avalanche being as injured as they are, and they're going to be injured for a long time. The Blues are just extremely mid again this year. The Blackhawks are still rebuilding. The Preds are a shock. One or both of those wildcard spots are going to be open for them. Be awfully sick if Calgary got a wildcard spot. Maybe we get a Calgary LA, because LA's killing it. It would be more like Winnipeg, but maybe we get a Calgary LA first round. They could be first round matchups. LA's leading the division right now. They have not played each other in the playoffs since 1993 in the first round. LA won that series, went all the way to the finals, and who did they beat to get into the finals? That's right. My man Doug Gilmour and the Toronto Maple Leafs on a bullshit high stick. Listen, Gary needed Gretzky in the finals. I get it. But Leafs, Canadiens, Stanley Cup finals, it would have been the last one ever because the Leafs were in the Western Conference at that point. Dude. Could have been the stuff of legend. And by the way, anybody who thinks the Leafs would have smoked the Habs in that finals, you should probably look at the Habs roster. I think if the Leafs had gotten into those finals, as much as I love the Toronto Maple Leafs, that Montreal team was like Hall of Famer, Hall of Famer, Hall of Famer, Hall of Famer. That was a good flipping team. And I think the Leafs would have put in a valiant effort. But Gretzky only won one game in that finals. Oh, what a save by Dustin Wolf. Trevor Moore swears he got one. Great setup from behind the net. Dustin Wolf just Martin Brodeured the crap out of that. That was unbelievable. That is an NHL goalie right there, folks. Look at this setup. Great setup. Trevor Moore at the side of the net. Dustin Wolf That is a save of the year candidate. That's right on the line. Watch this overhead. Oh, baby. Wow. That was going in. Dustin Wolf, everybody. This is the guy that everybody's been so excited about. It's nice to see him. It's nice to see it happening. Damn. Oh. That puck might be in, guys. Darcy Kemper is saying the puck is in. Is there a way to challenge that? Are they allowed to review that? And they got offsetting minors there too. So it looks 5-on-5 here. They got to look at this. That actually might be in. It honestly though, like I would love for Amazon to just freeze it on the overhead. Let me just see the overhead one more time and freeze it. Where is the puck there? Oh, that looks in. Oh, wait. Hold up. Yeah, that's in. But here's the thing. For this to be, it has to be conclusively past the line. And the red bar is the line. Yeah, I think that's a goal, guys. It has to be conclusive. See, here's what kills me. All right. We're pissing away time here. We're pissing away time. If the NHL would just do what tennis did 20 years ago, and they already have chips in the pucks, like computer chips are already in the pucks. Put a chip in the ice that allows you to know when it crosses the line. We'd already have an answer. It's not even expensive technology. That's all you need. We don't need a review. We would have known. We would have known. The goal light would have gone off. We would have known. Soccer's got VAR. Like, you can do this. Tyler Durden. While we review this, how about that Tony Hand guy? Tyler, you want to catch these hands? No, Tony Hand is amazing. I just would like to talk to Tony Hand rather than... Koyoya, Adam needs to go to bed, but the refs are not letting him go home. I don't need to go to bed. I feel like I just had a coffee. I'm fired up, baby. By the way, how cool are these mugs? These are Tim Hortons. No, I don't need to go to bed. I need the NHL to desperate for them to modernize the game. Why are we having refs look at this? That's a goal, man. That's a goal. What are we talking about? It was a 6 save, though. Had it been a save? 6 save. And here's the thing. It's such an easy solve. We're just wasting time. We've interrupted the flow of the game. It was starting to pick up. There's 2 minutes and 28 seconds left to go. And look at that. The NHL Situation Room in Toronto has the football game on. Pagan Beef says, Adam, you need a shave. No, man. This is for Movember. This is for a good cause. You need a shave. Also, donate to my Movember page if you could, guys. Robert says, LMAO, the football on the one screen. I know, man. They're watching football. The guy's like, oh, I got to work. Oops. It's a goal. This is a goal. Yeah. So it's 2:31. I know Flames fans are booing this, but they're going to correct the clock too. What's up, Hayden? That would have been Dustin Wolf's first career shutouts. That's a bummer for him. But that is absolutely a goal. Man, Trevor Moore. First goal scorer for the LA Kings. We thought it might be Kevin Fiala, but at least Fiala was on the ice for it. Now, so the question on the Prime broadcast is, do the penalties still stand? Because there was a lot of cheap shots afterwards. Apparently they do. Turning the tables. Love you, Adam. Hope you cover the Canucks again if they make the playoffs. Was a lot of fun last season. Well, I'd like to. Canucks fans were super nice to me. I think this year, I might go ham and try to cover 2. Like, for instance, like what if I had, because I was doing every other night. Steve would do the Leafs nights and I would do the non-Leafs nights. And I would do the Western Conference. So I did the Canucks and then I did the Oilers when the Oilers beat the Canucks. What if, hear me out, I had like a secondary, so I'll take one Western Conference team and that will be my series. And then I'll try to do, even on the nights where I'm not working and Steve is, I'll try to jump in and do most of them. Like, I can't guarantee you all of them because I have a wife and a child and I do need to be at home from time to time, but like, it is the playoffs, right? And it's only for a few weeks. And it's like, it's late night anyway. We're starting a lot of these games at 10 o'clock at night. No one at home's going to miss me at that point. I think that'd be fun. I think it'd be a lot of fun. All right, here we go. It's Kopitar along the boards. Let's see if we get a tie game. Are we going overtime? And by the way, the Kings have a power play and the empty net. Oh, it's Trevor Moore skates by. Is that going in? Oh, it's not going in. That's an icing. That's an icing with stream Adam Wylde eliminator stream. All elimination games all the time. Yeah, dude. I'd love that. That'd be cool. That's a great idea, an eliminator stream. That's a really good idea. See? We're bouncing stuff off each other here on the stream. By the way, we have a ton of people coming in for this game now because obviously it's happening. So welcome to all the new viewers. Happy to have you here. Been a good game between LA and Calgary. You know me, I like a shootout, so I would have preferred a little bit more, but So we're going to do another time check here I'm going to do even a clap here so we can be synced up for the last minute of this, but I believe we got 103 left on the clock. The Amazon clock is not up. Oh, it's 58.4. That's where we're at. 58.4. We're going to take the face off. It's in the Calgary zone. We got 6 guys on for the LA Kings. We got 4 guys on for the Flames. LA's on a power play. Goalie pulled. Linesman's going to take his time because remember, we're all here to see the linesman. Here we go. Link it up. There we go. That was a bad clap, but you got the idea. Backlund to center. 20 seconds left on the power play. 46 left in the period. Can the Flames sneak away with this? This is a big one. LA is leading the division. The Flames beat them here. This is a big win after the Flames have not had the best last 10 games. I think there's 3-6-1. Not fabulous. Byfield tries to sneak through. Flames Clark over to Trevor Moore. We got a stick in front of the net that's down. Calgary away with it. Backlund over to, here we go. And we got a goal. The Calgary Flames are going to win. Calgary Flames are going to win this game. This is a big, big win and a big game. And I think that was that Kevin Rooney? Nice little setup. Kevin Rooney with a big goal. His line had a great one. Guys, it's a nice, strong finish to a game that started a little slow. Damn. Yeah. Forsling just said on the broadcast, too much passing, too much thinking, a lot of hesitating for the LA Kings on the broadcast. I have to agree with him. They didn't get a lot of shots in. Calgary Flames, 3-1, baby. We did kind of predict that. We did kind of say LA was going to score and that the Flames needed a third goal to win this. Here we are. Benjamin Johnson, Perv Stash and Grippers. What kind of fans are you looking for, Adam? People just like you, Ben. Just like you. Just like you, man. 15 seconds left in the game. So, you know what we're going to do after Gripper Nation games? We're going to take 5 minutes and do a little question thing. So if you got any questions, start leaving them in the chat. Questions about the game, questions about anything. We're just going to take 5 minutes, do a press conference. Big game, big win for the Flames. Love that for them. And by the way, that puts the Calgary Flames not in points percentage, but it puts them ahead of the Vancouver Canucks in the division right now. 1 point Knights, 2 points behind these Los Angeles Kings for the division lead, which they have held at points this season. It also puts them 4 points up on the Edmonton Oilers. Not bad. Not bad at all. Man, great game for the Flames. Great games for the Flames. We'll start the Q&A now. James Stemler, Adam, on a serious note, do you see the NHL's ignoring of CTE coming up in the CBA talks? I know about the NHLPA committee and saw the Agent Provocateur episode, but players need to legit harass the league until they cave. So here's the deal, James. It doesn't matter what the players do. Gary Bettman and the owners are not going to acknowledge the link, even when it's scientifically proven, and it is. They're not going to do it. And the way that the reason they're not going to do it is because that opens them up to lawsuits. And so I'm just going to take my headphones off for a second. I think you need to stop asking the league to do something they're just not going to do. Maybe the next guy after Gary Bettman does it and finally admits it. The NFL has admitted it. The U.S. military has admitted it. Because a lot of what people don't understand about CTE is it's not just concussions. It's repeated hits to the head. It doesn't have to be a concussion. And the reason the U.S. military admitted it is because if you're on the front lines and you're throwing grenades and things are blowing up around you, your brain is rattling around in there. And a lot of ex-military guys have CTE. And right now, what makes it even more difficult, and what the NHL is able to sneak out on, is the fact that you can't test for CTE until somebody's passed away. There's no test that currently exists that proves CTE in a brain that is living. And what's scary about that is CTE, when they actually go through and they do these brain scans after people have passed away and they've donated their brains to science, they're literally seeing the brain eaten away. That's how serious this is. So when we talk about headshots in the game, and I'm talking about purposeful headshots like the one Tanner Jeannot beamed Brock Besser with this weekend, it's a real issue. And I think the NHL is going to be able to have plausible deniability there, at least in their perspective, until there's a real world test. And once there's a real world test where people who are living can find out, it's going to change things big time. And they'll figure it out. Here's some other questions. Can the Winnipeg Jets, this is from Bustin Dufflin, can the Winnipeg Jets maintain their regular season dominance with their tough schedule coming up? I think that the Winnipeg Jets, if you think about it like this, the Winnipeg Jets the rest of the way only have to be a 500 team, and they still could win the division. Like, they're 14-1. So if they split the rest of their games, they still are up 13 wins on losses. That it's kind of nuts, but the Jets actually don't even have to be that good. As long as they're not super bad, they should run away with the division. And if they continue to be somewhat dominant, maybe not to the level that they've been, because I think their winning percentage is like a 9.33, which is unheard of. They could be a record-breaking team this year. Like Boston a few years ago, the Jets have had a better start than Boston 2 years ago. And the Boston of 2 years ago set the record for most points in the league ever. It's pretty crazy. Kevin Peters, will you watch the Argos in the Grey Cup? Probably not. Not because I have anything against the Argos, but because I'm really busy this weekend with my nephew's birthday. And then we do this whole family get together the next day for decorating gingerbread houses. So probably not. Maybe the game will be on in the background. Chantel Zeller, bring back Adam's History Corner. Hey, it's always available. You can always submit History Corner questions to Jesse Blake. Lucas, whodunit? Whodunot? I think it's whodunit. I don't know. Lucas, is Wolf the real deal? Yes, Dustin Wolf is the real deal. I think he's a very, very good player. Excited to see what he becomes. Slippery Nod. How do you feel about the circus of a game between Montreal and Buffalo? I think it's great for hockey. Probably both coaches hate it, and Montreal needed a win, so good for them. Prophet says, Flames are the only team in Alberta to have won on Amazon. Well, the Oilers were pretty bad when they were on Amazon. Why do you think the Kings have always been bad on the power play, even when they were winning cups? It wasn't good. Well, I don't know. I mean, if we go back that far, they won in 12 and 14. I don't know. They were more defensively minded back then. They were a grinding, punishing defensive team that just wouldn't allow you to score much. I think now the reason they're not great is because they got a lot of young players and they don't know when to shoot. And listen, man, Toronto Maple Leafs have that same problem. Too much passing, not enough pucks and bodies to the net. It's like it's hilarious because it's the proven formula, and yet you have to, even at the NHL level, drive it into people's skulls. Go to the net, keep the shots low, and actually shoot. Stop looking for perfection. Just give me a low shot to the net. If it goes off a skate, that's fine. Set it up, try again. SLS. Adam, did you see what happened in the Premier League today? A ref was suspended for making anti-Liverpool comments in a video from a while back. Well, I can understand why the ref was suspended, but no, I haven't seen it. Yeah, that's a problem. Why was the ref being interviewed in a video? I don't know. I haven't seen the video. I don't know. But yeah, I can imagine that they would probably have to suspend him for that, and I'm sure it'll be fine. Do you think the Leafs could handle? Do you think the Leafs could handle the Panthers in the second round? I want to see them play each other in the regular season a little bit. Leafs are a little bit different this year than they were. I can't wait to see guys like OEL and Lorentz take on that team. And Stollers, how bad do you think Anthony Stollers wants to go in and beat his former team, not just in the regular season, but in the playoffs? Chances are, if the Leafs want to go anywhere, they're going to have to go through two of three teams: Tampa, Boston, Florida. None of those are easy. None of those are fun. You're going to have to beat them. So gird your loins, baby. Let's go. Sexy Jari. How impressive have the Caps been in your eyes? So I'm going to get this back on. Extremely impressive. The goaltending from last year was already good, so I'm not surprised by that. But they're scoring, and I think Spencer Carberry is a great coach. And I like what they did. I like what they did with the Pierre-Luc Dubois trade. I love seeing Strome and McMichael do as well as they've done. And, we're all rooting for Obi to go after that record. So, yeah, I think the Caps are really impressive, and it's surprising. And they took risks, man. They took risks. They're like, hey, we got bounced in the playoffs pretty quick, but we're still going to give Matt Roy big money. We're going to go and trade for the last 7 years of the Pierre-Luc Dubois deal. Like that, those are risks, and they made it work. 51 more wins for the Flames to break the Bruins record. Yeah, I know. Let me see here. Are you tired? Of course I'm tired. I'm a dad. Of course I'm tired. What do you think of the Penguin finale? I have not watched it yet, but if you guys have not seen this, and I'll leave you on this note, if you haven't seen the Penguin yet, first off, if you haven't seen the Batman yet, watch the Batman with Robert Pattinson. Blown away. Great movie. Like, amazing. And yeah, as far as the Penguin goes, dude, such a good TV show. I think it's the best one on TV right now. I also just finished Rings of Power, and I know people are hard on it because they're like, well, the movies were better. Yeah, they're like legendary Peter Jackson movies. Also, did you see the Hobbit Peter Jackson movies? Way less good. But I think Rings of Power is actually spectacular. I don't know why people are hating on it. I think it's great. Anyway, long story short, guys, I love you. I'm going to go home. Hayden and I are wrapping it up for the night. I want to thank Robert. I want to thank Justin. I want to thank Hayden, who are always here on Monday nights doing this with me. Gripper Nation, you guys rock. You're here every Monday, no matter what kind of game it is. And the last two, I mean, tonight's was better than last week. but they haven't been the most exciting. Hopefully next week with the Edmonton Oilers, it's a little bit more spicy. Love you guys. Thank you so much for listening. And don't forget, tomorrow night, live show, baby. We're going to be at Shoeless Joe's for the Leafs and Sens game. So we'll see you there. See you later.